Ep21.
Hello, and welcome everyone to Charms Fantasy, where we are performing a completely improvised theatrical dice game known as the collective hallucination of Dungeons and Dragons. Sleepless in Drakkenheim, set in the Drakkenheim campaign setting created by the Dungeon Dudes, played by us, your happy, what are they called? Not minstrels, jesters, just absolutely ridiculous human beings. And we're happy to do it, honestly. But please, and I hate to say this, like, subscribe, follow, click that bell icon, and I'll never say those words again in my life. That felt dirty. Ugh. In any case,
Until next time.
until next time. Yeah. These marionette strings. But yeah, I'm Charm. I'm playing Erasmus von Kessel, a apothecary mutagenist, and we did level up, and I did take a different level in a different class. Very excited to roleplay that out, though. So you're not gonna know until that moment. Level 7, and a human boy, 18 years old, and very much so realizing very quickly that he hasn't left Drakkenheim proper in a while. It's been almost like it's been a business week that we've stayed here. We rested for a few days at the clock tower. Yeah, I think I need to let people know I'm still alive at Camp Dawn. Hopefully see if the person who I pretend is my girlfriend is still around, and has noticed my absence. All right, so I'll pass this on to the inevitable, ineffable, incredible Laurie.
That's a lot of words. That's me. Hey, y'all. I'm Laurie. How's it going? I am playing Ryan Deline. Ryan is a half elf, level 7 cosmic warlock. She's, feeling strong bonds with Erasmus, Thales. They've been, they're alive. So alive equates to doing well in Drakkenheim. So feeling like she's got a good group, and uh, she's really starting to think less about the past, kind of letting that go. And in Drakkenheim, it's hard to look too far in the future because it's unpredictable and chaotic. So she's really settling into being focused on here and now, uh, learning more about magic because magic's pretty new to her, and just embracing her life as an adventurer here in Drakkenheim with these fools. Speaking of these fools, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm Isaac. I'm Conflux Art, making handmade resin dice with my wife, and Conflux Creatures on Patreon. I have a subreddit, Our Better Monsters, where I've published thousands of monsters that you can find for free, and they're excellent. I'm playing Thales the Curious, who is a newly sworn paladin. Now wizard paladin with his 8 strength. So we're gonna see how that turns out. But yeah, just a explorer of deeper truths, and seeker of what might be found in the depths of Drakkenheim. And yeah, on to you, Josh.
Hello. That was very dramatic.
I was like, hello, have you or a loved one?
Yeah. Hello.
Camp Lejeune.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back to Sleepless in Drakkenheim. But Sleepless in maybe not Drakkenheim sometime soon, as this intrepid group is attempting to flee for your lives. More so just leave and check in with people, because it's been like you were saying, a business week.
I was doing the math. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
people think we're dead.
Yeah, yeah. It's been shorter, I think, than it feels like when you're watching the videos, right? But it's been longer than I think people expect people to go missing in Drakkenheim. Like after like 2 or 3 days, people are like, yeah, that person's dead for sure. So it's been a solid 5 days, which is pretty spicy. But last we left this crew here, Thales had taken the sacrament of the falling fire, and had gone through that ordeal at the kind of lip of crater, and I wouldn't say surrendered himself to the delirium and the sacrament, but more so like gone down a path that will lead him to a greater truth, I think, of the delirium. Which there are benefits and there are also costs. You know, it's pros and cons of everything in Drakkenheim, and one of which was chosen here. And make no mistake, it is a choice that will affect the rest of the campaign, for good and for ill, for each of the players. But it is a choice, much like all that are in Drakkenheim. And so now we return back to the rest of the choices, which, if everyone has the map pulled up, I know those of you watching or listening do not have a map in front of you, but they are heading southeast, which is where the city or the little town of Emberwood is, which is where they started their journey. Haven't been back in a while, but are heading there now. You are just on the lip of the crater, heading southeast. There is a way, if you have your map pull up in front of you, players, there is a way down from kind of the lip of the crater into what is called the spokes. But there is a section just on the other side of the crater that is called the scar. And it is, imagine like when a crater hits or is about to hit, it starts to break apart because it enters the atmosphere, it heats up really heavily, it starts to break off. So you always see these pictures of like, you know, dramatizations of when the meteor hit the planet and killed all the dinosaurs. You see these like little pieces break off. Imagine a piece broke off and landed in this area that you're walking into. Well, this area would have less kind of delirium or deep haze than the crater, because that's where the big kind of piece of the asteroid would be. But there would be a good deal of delirium in this area. Each of you know this already. This is not like hidden knowledge. This is a very well-known area. Each of the factions are well aware of this area, as it is considered close to Emberwood and incredibly valuable. There is a smithy that existed before the fall of Drakkenheim. It is now active again in the past couple months. A couple of dwarven brothers have moved in and have started up kind of a production of it again, or a strip mine. So that's the area in which you are entering. For good or ill, each of the factions that you align yourself with have different feelings about this particular area. Silver Order wants it shut down. The Queen's Men very much wanted to keep going, but they're being a tad roguish in that way. So there's, you know, give and take. Followers of the Falling Fire view it very against their order, right? You shouldn't be strip mining a holy relic from the ground that has fallen from the heavens, that kind of thing. So should you choose to go to this area, it is a valuable space to be for your factions, and you each know this. This is not like a guessing game. Like, you're entering an area that each of you know exists.
I'm sorry, did you say who operates it?
It's these dwarven brothers. You've never met them before.
Okay.
But they have just recently moved in, and they basically consider it like strip mined. Like, they have been basically systematically going through and mining all of the delirium in this area, because it's incredibly valuable, right? A lot of people want it. So that's kind of where the area in which you are heading. Now you can skirt around it should you choose to not involve yourself in this situation. If you just want to go to Emberwood. But that is also in front of you. But you find yourself kind of at the lip of this crater, looking down into the outer city again, which you haven't, quite frankly, seen in a very long time.
It's been a minute.
And you see this, what is called the smithy on the scars. You see this strip mining operation and smithy operation happening in a kind of off to your east. And then to your north or northwest, you see the path to Emberwood in front of you.
I can't recall, because of real life time difference between last session and this session.
Yeah.
Isaac, did I offer you anything in their character or anything?
You gave me your armor.
Perfect. And you're did I help you kind of don that? And you
Yeah,
have that?
absolutely.
Perfect. You look great in it, by the way. You look great. Just taking that.
There's so much empty space in this armor with me.
I also will say that there is, I don't remember how we ruled last time, but there is a struggle with the delirium shard that is sticking out of your chest and the armor.
Okay.
Like
It was armor that was a little big on me.
So,
Yeah,
it's protruding significantly.
it will it will not feel great after a little while if you don't adjust it and have it adjusted for you. Meaning you need to have like a thing, you know.
Okay.
Like
You need someone to
form.
sand it down.
We're going to Emberwood. We can get somebody to adjust
Yeah.
it.
But you know, in the same space, there are people, you know, the cultists in Emberwood that you have seen that just kind of have a cloak over it, but the problem is that it's the light from the delirium shard shines very brightly, and so it might illuminate your neck. It might do all, you know, like there are.
Ooh, like
if
a
someone
face
looks
glow, like a neck glow.
Kind
effect.
of. If someone looks too closely, it might give you away, and so I want you to kind of.
I'm honestly more concerned with like getting stabbed than I am with getting like getting negative reactions. Yes. So I'll probably just see if I can see if I can get like a little like cutout.
Yeah,
it's gonna make a stabbing hole, but like you know it might be able to like you know like pad and fit it a little bit so it's not that great for stabbing me through.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's possible to mold it around what you're wearing. So I just wanted to kind of give you that you know, role play mechanic. Like it will be harder to hide unless you go to lengths to hide it, and even then, a very sharp-eyed viewer would be able to notice the fact that you are now pretty much in the cult of the followers of the Fire.
Yeah, I think Faley. I think it would be too socially awkward for Faley to take the armor off and do something that would hide it better. So he is going to continue wearing it right now, despite the discomfort. And yeah, I don't think he's taking any special precautions beyond that to keep it hidden.
You know how insulting that would be from a guy who at one point had no skin and handled it to be like, you know, this armor just doesn't feel the right way. Like, that would be so brutal.
Now, were we headed back to Emberwood, or I noticed you were looking over towards the scar over there.
The old mine. I've never been there before.
Nor have I.
Only heard yeah, I don't know. Only heard a little bit about it.
Did we have a specific interest in it? If we had money, it would be a good place to acquire delirium, I suppose. But I don't know if that's something we really have any reason to do right now. And I feel trepidatious. You know, miners are often very protective of their claims.
Sure. Well, and if and looking around, I'd love to find some delirium to take with us back to Emberwood to sell scrolls for armor, for things. I don't want to buy it.
Oh, perhaps we could acquire money another way. Well, okay, so I have a thought. Well, we're headed back to Emberwood, and we'd like some money when we get there. I do have some things that I could sell if we need to. If you need money to buy something specific. But next time we go out, I was thinking perhaps we could go and kill Oscar Yorn. I've given it some thought, and I was allowing my personal fondness for him to cloud my judgment, I think.
Is this the same personal fondness you have for us, by chance?
It's not entirely dissimilar.
Looking at Ghost, I'm like, okay,
I think
noted.
all things considered, he is a bane upon Drakkenheim, and is harming all of the people that he's interacting with. And what we need at this moment is allies.
All right.
And I feel like we have not made progress towards
I feel
acquiring the goodwill of the people from whom we need it. And I think that in this moment is worth more than my appreciation of the work he once did.
all right.
Makes some sense. And if we're, I agree with you on allies. I've been thinking about. I've got some unfinished business with the Lord of the Feast, and that also feels like a job that would benefit from having allies.
Yes, I think
When do we go to do that?
something that might be wise, that we've been operating very much on our own as sort of mavericks. I feel like we need to we need to make lasting decisions about who we wish to ally ourselves with and commit to that. I fear that if we wait too long, the opportunity to ally with anyone may pass, and we will not accomplish Erasmus's goals on our own.
My goals. What do you think my goals are?
You want to? My understanding was that you wanted to restore Drakkenheim and be a guiding hand in its future.
I do, but do you really think that's really something that we can do? Like, really, be painfully, brutally honest. I need to know. Is it better to
I think
leave
our ability to
Drakkenheim?
do that is limited only by our conviction, which is not to suggest that unlimited conviction is the correct course of action. Only that we have been willfully underestimating ourselves, I think.
What? Is this you talking or the rock in your chest? Because the last time I heard you say the word conviction, it was in relation to crime.
Perhaps I don't recall.
You seem different. You're standing taller. Your shoulders are back. You seem like you're a man on a mission.
Yes, I'm experiencing, I think, a moment of clarity. The procedure to insert this was transformative. It was quite painful, but I feel like I reached a sort of clarity in that moment.
Well, and that being said, it seems like, looking at the glowing delirium coming from his chest, it seems like
My eyes are
you've committed. We talk about allies. We talk about groups that we want to be with. Pretty much looks like you've committed.
Committed to the followers of the Fallen Fire?
Absolutely.
I respect the followers of the Fallen Fire as fellow seekers of truth, but my commitment is to the two of you. Whatever my sentimental alignment with some of their goals, it is to the two of you that I'm sworn.
Oh, and I totally understand that.
And
what wasn't talking about us.
The nature of religious movements is while you can and should ally yourself with them for political purposes, you should not expect to have much control over how your erstwhile allies behave.
Makes sense.
I think that ultimately they are probably more useful as allies than the Church of the Sacred Flame. But if you reconquer Drakkenheim with them at your side, you will have done so for them, as opposed to them having done so for you.
I'm thinking about the different factions and who we align with to help us, or who we can best help.
I think we first must decide firmly, Erasmus. What do you want for Drakkenheim?
I want it to be clear of anything that offers illness or harm, and that's monsters and delirium.
It certainly is. Now, what I would say is that harm is not inherent to either of those things.
Right.
Harm is a matter of particular interactions between people and the things that are now in Drakkenheim. If Drakkenheim is to be inhabited, either people must become better at interacting with monsters in delirium, or the monsters in delirium must be contained or removed. I quite agree with that.
Right.
But what is the imperative of resettling Drakkenheim?
It's my home.
Well, should you build a new city here, it will not be your home. The home of your childhood is destroyed already, and you will not rebuild it. You can reclaim the land and build a new home that other people will call home, but it will not return you to where you were.
I'll have to think on this, but for now, I'm not looking to owe anyone any favors. And if someone wants to help,
it's unavoidable if you wish to have any power.
I don't want power. I want the power that I have.
You want to accomplish things that require power, though.
You can do a great deal by inspiring the power of others, for them to do what they wish to do, of like mind. That's what community is. That's what a family is centered around.
Yes.
A common goal of everyone having the power.
That is indeed the power to inspire is indeed a great power.
But a tyrant is taking that power and channeling it for a single purpose and will, guided by force or manipulation, or in not a tyrant's way, but feels just as bad to me, is negotiating with people who are going to make me do things I wouldn't normally do of my own free will.
If you wish to serve the people whom you have power over, manifestly, you do and will have power over people. I think that attitude needs to soften at some point. To be uncompromising will be to fail your people as a leader.
Yeah, then I'll lean on the Silver Order. They've proven themselves to be, have given me a great deal without asking anything in return. And
they have indeed. They have also, as we have seen, sent a great many people to their deaths.
And that's what we're doing. We're changing.
In ways that I think you would not have. I think if the Silver Order are to be faithful allies to you, they will need you will need to impose some change on them.
And I think they'll be perhaps more open to that with my claim. And I agree. But like you said, in order to deal with the monsters in delirium. The people need to be better at it, or we need to remove it. Both will require people to make sacrifices, at least asking them to. And if they wish to call this place home, they'll have earned it in whatever they do with their lives. A lot of these people have already made a decision that I'm not introducing anything new to. I'm not inspiring that thought into their head. I'm just giving them a real vision of the future being stable. I don't want to deliver Drakkenheim into the hands of people who would make a civil war as soon as I sit down on the throne.
It is, however, your intent to take the throne, yes?
Have you met anyone else who could make this place a place of peace with?
We've met a number of people. We have met your mother, who.
Sure.
Yes, but
You think she would inspire peace?
yes, to be honest, she is certain. She is certainly capable of it, I would think.
Until people discovered she was mad.
It seems that she was perhaps an unkind person to begin with, and has not had her disposition bettered by her time spent in Drakkenheim. But good rulership is not entirely about kindness. Kindness is no flaw, but a kind ruler can do a great deal of harm to their people, whereas a cruel ruler who can serve their people well.
Which one do you think I am?
I mean, you're certainly kind. I think you do not yet have the temperament of a ruler.
I don't think I do either. I'd agree with you. Well, at least let me be the one who can pass off the crown to the person who we all agree might be the most fitting. I'd rather find a good person who does well and has the temperament of a ruler and live in that world than rule in any other.
I think that for now, starting or continuing to think about these things, that's a place to start. A lot to think about, a lot to try to figure out.
I will say additionally, Erasmus, if you reach for somebody with a worse claim than your own, they will kill you. If you wish to support someone else's claim, you are limited in who you can do that with.
That's okay. I have you, Scalise, and you, Arian. They'll have to get through you. And if it gets
That's
to a point,
I can be gotten through relatively easily.
I've seen all kinds of things try, Scalise. Nothing's gotten through you.
Okay. All right. There's much to think about.
If that day comes, though, in all seriousness, where the person I put on the throne who really does want to make for the best of things fears me, I will leave Drakkenheim. I'll go to the places that all the beautiful places on the map that I've seen in the books, and maybe I'll go visit where you were born, Scalise.
Perhaps. I think that if it is your intention to find a worthy successor, I think you will not be able to select a good ruler without first becoming one yourself, or at least developing the capability of being one.
Well,
I think you are a kind man, and you will select a kind man, and that is certainly better than nothing.
now don't forget the beautiful and incredible beings out there, known to be the progenitors of great men and women out there. The Queen Mother, as you said, She's a woman who could do it. She's cruel and capable, but maybe there's a woman out there who's kind and capable.
Yes, I think that if it is your intention to select the future ruler of Drakkenheim, I think that something that you should consider is beginning to develop the skills of leadership yourself, so you can identify them in others.
Like I said, I'll have all three of us together when those days start coming and coming fast. I would like to hear any and all insights from either of you to decide on who we can best support. But to the point, that day is not today nor tomorrow, and I do wish to speak to the Silver Order about this direction, because I feel like as a faction I can trust them, and that's right now what I care most about, is not kindness and not capability, but trust.
And right now, if we can find allies to help us, perhaps with Oscar, perhaps with the tower.
I do not trust them to help us with that, but we should certainly relay to them what we know. I think that you should. Trust is in fact precious, and it will grow more precious as time goes on. But when you must trust people. Don't trust a group.
Well, I'll trust the Knight Commander.
Yes. Well, shall we?
Indeed. As we're walking, Ryan is looking around for anything of value. We're in a relatively delirium-rich environment. Definitely looking for delirium. And so, all right, so we're headed back to Emberwood now?
I think so, yeah.
Did you, so there's a mechanic for actually searching stuff. Did you actually want to, like, search stuff?
Yeah, let's do a little searching.
No search.
Cool. So with the route that you are taking, so you're going to Emberwood, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to take you, without pausing, probably 2 encounter rolls. How fast are you moving?
I think we were going to probably go slow while we're searching, but then speed up afterwards.
So searching is like a pause in movement.
Oh, okay.
So normal speed?
Yeah.
I mean, we can afford to go slow, right?
So the way that slow works is we have twice as many encounter rolls, but they are like
At advantage.
More likely to be a good thing.
Yeah, so you can roll. Essentially, you roll twice the die, which could get you a good result. But you also have the ability to stealth and do perception at not disadvantage. So just regular rolls.
Yeah, it's not the double the encounters; it's just an advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, and that then
so
that helps us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But the advantage helps us search for things.
Right.
Yeah. Let's search first, and then later we'll go slow.
Yeah. The way that search works is it's like an isolated thing. You guys have really only searched once, which is interesting. But
not known for our searching.
Yeah.
It's scary to be in Drakkenheim.
Things find us more often than we find them.
All right, let's search.
Sure.
So we're going to go regular speed or slow?
So the way that searching works is you will pause for an hour and search the area, so you don't make forward movement. But after that, you could do normal speed, and that's totally fine. So let's do that. How does this work again?
Yeah, if you guys don't mind taking a look around, if we're going to go back to Emberwood to collect as much as we can, buy some things in Emberwood,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, because of where you are gonna be searching this in a different tier. There's 2 tiers, essentially outer city and inner city, and I'm bumping you up a tier because of where you are. So, everybody go ahead and roll me. Let me see, search the ruins.
Target rich environment, baby. Target rich environment.
Roll me investigation or wisdom. So survival. So investigation or survival. And let me know what you roll.
Okay.
18.
18, okay.
17.
17, okay.
You said investigation was an option? Is that what you said?
Investigation. So technically, it's Arcana or Investigation or Survival. Sorry.
Oh, if I could do Arcana, then that bumps
could
it up
change it,
to 20.
20. So 20, 18, and would you get? Erasmus?
17.
17. Okay. I'm gonna bump this down one. Great.
Look at it. Hopefully, just to make the camera doesn't mess us up.
Okay. Great. There we go. Okay. Cool. So you spend about an hour rooting around this area. Think of it like the slopes of a low volcano is kind of the vibe that you're on right now. Like, you know, the city's not like utterly destroyed here. There's like ruins and whatever, but it's pretty messed up. So you kind of root around and you sift some dust and debris away, and a lot of the stuff is either not gotten to from the mine yet, or it's just in an area that the mine's not in. It's it's over the ridge. It's half a mile away or whatever. So it's you could see it, but you're kind of rooting around in other areas. It takes you about an hour. You actually find a good number of pieces here. You're not looking in the area that the side shard fell, but where you're searching is where the tail was. So as it entered, it kind of broke off pieces. Obviously, it hit some buildings, broke off a little bit more. You find about 8 technically what are called delirium fragments. They are worth 100 gold a pop.
Do you want to hang on to those, Laurie?
I'll take them and we will all divvy them up when we need to. Sure.
Nice.
Great. And because you didn't fail twice, now you can just continue without a.
Oh, we only make an encounter roll if we if we get 2 failures.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't know that. We should search more.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
The downside is you can't move while searching. So like now you have to move the full distance, which is not a big deal.
Okay.
So it's really up to
Do it
you.
again.
And this is like one of the areas that like is really environment rich for what you're doing without being in the inner city. Just nice.
Hey, this was great. Want to move on a little bit more, and then if we're not in a hurry, let's look some more.
Yeah, okay. If we want to or like move closer towards the scar, or just continue looking for another hour.
We have to move before we look again, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty much. Yeah, you've searched the area. Like think of like you've searched a quarter-mile diameter, kind of in every direction, and gathered enough delirium shards to equate to about 8 fragments, which is pretty good.
Yeah, if we've cleaned out, I think we did a pretty good job looking around here. We move on a little bit.
Yeah.
Take a look at another area.
So I think we're gonna travel. Did you want to go slow? Or because we're not super hard up for daylight right now. We're relatively close to Emberwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. We can go slow this time.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Great. Go ahead and give me them our rolls.
I got the D100.
I got
We're rolling
10.
2, correct?
Yes.
So
Roll
slow.
2 and pick the higher number.
15 for the D20.
15 for the D20.
Wow, a 2 and a 2 on the 10, so that'd be a
Glorious.
2.
It's glorious.
Glorious.
And you said take the higher number?
Higher number, yeah.
Okay, so 56.
56. Okay. Okay, cool. So as you're walking through the ruins, the like dust or rubble covered ruins, start to kind of fade away. You get to the bottom of what we consider like the volcano of delirium, right? And you start to move through actual ruins again. But before you enter the actual ruins, you find a little camp, little lean-to, fire that's gone out. A little stool that looks like it was in someone's house. A little not chest of drawers, but like a chest that like would be like a closed box, not like a treasure chest, right? So it's like a square box as opposed to like this definitely has treasure in it kind of box. And then you see little random stuff, little candle, kind of stuff sitting on the chest. There's a little bench that is kind of has a bunch of knickknacks on it. And on the bench, you see a bottle that seems to be filled with some type of ointment that you've seen before. It's got like kind of a shiny hue to it. It doesn't look like magical, really, but it looks important is a really good way to kind of describe it. It looks like it would be a valuable find, or at least a important enough potion. Like it doesn't look just like water. Right?
Can I taste it and see if I can detect what's going on with this ointment?
If you want to pick it up, you can. You don't even have to taste it. You can just look at it if you want.
Oh yeah, I'll take a look.
Okay, so as you reach down to go pick it up, you grab it, and a couple things happen at once. Is you pick the bottle up, and you go, oh, nice, a restoration ointment. That'll actually be very helpful. In the chest next to you and the bench will start to move. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Here we go.
We're going old school.
Does it just have teeth?
Yeah, we're going old school on it. Let's get it.
It's a trap. Okay, let's party. Really? Awesome. 6 for initiative, correct?
18 for Phales.
9 for
you said 18 for Phales?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Am I used to seeing I don't know, are mimics do mimics have a place in the Amethyst Academy? Like wizards collect them for wizard reasons.
Yeah, this is definitely a known commodity. This when it pops up, you're like, I should.
It could also be a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it when this happens.
Yeah.
It could also be a ghost.
I sure hope it's not a ghost.
He still has his skin, so he's fine. It's not a ghost.
Nice.
For now.
Now, and
That's true.
I'm also assuming that mimics aren't so prevalent that Ryan probably hasn't seen mimics before.
Yeah, I think it would be a surprise for Ryan. It's definitely not a surprise for Phales. I think it would be a surprise for Erasmus. I think Phales is one of those kind of characters that knows that mimics exist. Has probably seen 1 or 2 in the Amethyst Academy.
Yeah.
But they're
feel
kind
like
of
maybe
a
I've seen
weird
him.
monster, right?
I feel like I've seen a mimic, but like if you lived in a world with mimics, everybody would talk about it, right? Like I feel like they'd be there would be lots of obscure monsters. I feel like mimics would be on the level of dragons of the amount of times people would the amount of time people would spend worrying about could there be a mimic here, despite the fact that most people would never encounter a mimic. Because like once someone tells you about mimics, you're never gonna stop thinking about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think each of you would kind of, I think it's a guess. It's an educated guess that this would be a mimic. You're like, oh, the furniture is moving and it has teeth. There's gotta be this thing.
Other things that could be furniture with teeth.
Absolutely, right? Like it could be actual furniture.
Erasmus is thinking these are animated objects because he has animated objects.
Exactly, right? So
I'm gonna be like, a wizard is nearby.
A wizard? What?
Yeah. He pulls out his sword and his armor.
Like
my wizard slaying sword. This is my wizard slaying sword. No different than your typical sword, because all wizards can be slain by something sharp.
Nice. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Are those things are those coming at us?
Oh yeah, they starting. So Phales, it is your turn. You have picked up this restoration ointment, which you recognize pretty much right away, as it is quite a valuable object to pick up, especially within Drakkenheim, especially for someone who deals in contamination of people who are not inducted into the followers of the falling fire and therefore are not immune to contamination. Restoration ointment is incredibly important for other people, but you recognize the furniture start to move, grow teeth, and start to kind of lunge at you, and immediately the thought triggers in your mind that these are.
How close are Erasmus and Ryan to me?
90 feet.
90 feet. Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably say about 10 feet back would be my guess. Like, you just kind of like walked up quickly and grabbed this potion. That's kind of a safe assumption.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have been too separated.
Yeah. But you're in melee of both of these. So.
Yeah. I'm Yeah, I think I'm going to Misty Step away, and then cast Frostbite, targeting whichever one is closest to Erasmus and Ryan.
Okay. That would probably be the one on the right, would be my guess.
It is a natural one to hit, though.
So yeah, definitely.
I love this game.
Bailey's is
go
not
ahead.
looking at the mimics that he's shooting at because he's busy looking around for a wizard
Wizard
after
that
Erasmus'
Erasmus
declaration.
I think you shoot the lean-to, which is the only actual furniture that is not a mimic. So you shoot, you're like, wizard,
That's
where?
so
Pop!
funny.
You just-
Oh,
Go,
that's
Bob!
If I were a wizard, that's where I'd be.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bailey's is going to run 30 feet further away, so he's now 60 feet away from the mimics.
Great.
Just like, don't let them eat you. They love to do that.
Thanks for the good advice.
That's great advice.
Some people let them eat them. I don't know why I need to explain this to people, but trust me, I do.
I won't, thanks.
Okay.
But what if I want to eat them?
Yeah, I was like, this is a strange situation.
This is interesting. Isaac, you would know this. Why does it say a huge or smaller creature? Oh, smaller creature. I thought it said huge or small, and I was like, why would it have that big of a gulf? That
What
seems
about
really
the middle
weird.
kind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what about large and medium? That seems super weird.
We don't love everyone.
Yeah, that's so funny. Okay. Okay, cool.
Just the hate on the average is so funny in my mind as like a preference. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want medium size.
Huge or small, and I was like, wow, that
Not-
seems like a really weird choice, because like most PCs are not small. There are definitely some that are, but most are large and medium. Like, why would you
Don't-
dodge those? That
Don't
seems so
hate
bizarre.
on the mid.
Wow, this thing's movement sucks. Okay, cool.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's a
Um,
shame.
But it is going to make it to you anyway, and it is going to let's see.
So we're
Yeah,
about
it's gonna go ahead and attack. Let's say I'm gonna say you, Ryan. It's gonna attack you.
right on. I'm about 20 feet back. Yeah.
You were 10 feet back. You both were, so you're both about 10 feet because you were just kind of walking in a
Okay.
group.
Okay.
And it can't move very far, which is pretty funny. I actually didn't know it could move that little. That's hilarious. It definitely misses. But so it starts to like lunge at you, and kind of goes to hit you with the bench component of its like body, and you just kind of like take a step back. You're like, what in the world? Totally misses you.
Are you kidding? What in the actual hells? Is this a normal thing? Okay.
Cool. All right, Rasmus, that's your turn.
Seeing how slow these things move, Erasmus is just going to say, I can't be wasting our time with furniture. And he's going to use his action to dash. But the distance is covered. I'm just not going to be moving like speedy. I'm just like using like a brisk walking pace to show the contrast between him and the mimic or whatever this is, and just leave. And just show like we can just go.
We can literally
take a pedestrian
just
exit at this point.
This is like.
I mean, and what's great is like
whoa,
I love the idea
whoa.
of leaving and getting to Emberwood with things like hopping after us, but like never really getting to us.
Yeah, because I'll just get lost.
We've walked away from bigger stuff.
Yeah,
It's
so I'm
true.
gonna be like, we can't be wasting our time on this.
All right. Hey, Fairies, do these things, and looking at the chest that's got fangs and stuff,
They're not edible.
do they have
Well, they
anything?
are technically, but don't.
I won't. Do they have anything in them?
More creature.
Okay, forget it. All right. I don't want to
Like,
miss
you're
any-
just
I
like,
don't wanna
they
miss
technically
anything
are.
good.
But like only in the technical sense are they edible.
Everything's edible, technically. Well,
Everything's edible once.
I've had too
Okay.
many students feed themselves to mimics. I never know why.
all right. Hey, look, if there's nothing for us in there,
Yeah.
and I'm just talking, not my turn. So.
Well, it's Erasmus' turn and then it's your turn. So if you wanted to just walk away,
Yeah,
like
just walk away.
Thales is already 60 feet away from you. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
could
yeah.
just go a different way and meet up in a second. Like you
I'm
guys will be
going-
fine.
I'm doing a quick look around to see if there looks like there's anything of value that doesn't have freaking teeth, and then I'm like looking at them. Disengage. Peace out. I don't need a piece
Okay.
of this
Good
if you
thing I
guys don't
grabbed
need
the
a piece of
bottle
this.
instead of opening the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Great, yeah. So very, very quickly moved away from that. Easy,
am I-
easy peasy combo.
Am I now gonna look at every piece of furniture we see?
Well, you
Mostly-
don't already do that?
Mostly toilets.
I didn't. Oh God. No.
And
Yeah,
where there's
anything-
two mimics, there might be three mimics, and it just hasn't revealed itself yet because the bottle hasn't been drunk yet.
That's true. It could.
Bottles.
You know,
mimic would be awesome.
I think the bottle mimic would be a variety that Bailey's wouldn't have encountered before. I don't think it would occur to him that it could successfully mimic like sloshing liquid, which you know, a wizard can like a wizard did all kinds of things. There could definitely be a bottle mimic, but I don't think Bailey's would think of that.
That's awesome.
All
Which is
right.
fun. Okay, great. So now you are an encounter down, heading towards Emberwood. You got 3 more encounter rolls unless you decide to speed it up.
Let's do it.
It's up to you. So go ahead and give me another roll. We'll double them up on this one if you're still moving.
Oh,
slow.
did you still want to search again?
Yeah. Quick question: as
Search.
we get further towards Emberwood, are we getting further away from where there's more delirium? So would be better
yeah.
to stop now and look?
Well, so you're already out of the like heavy area, but you still find stuff. It's not like you can't find
Okay.
stuff, and it's not like
Alright.
it's not going to be a valuable time. It's just dependent upon like if you want to stop and delay, if you want to risk the failure and the encounter.
Okay.
It's entirely up to you. It's still worth it. It's not as worth it, but it is still worth
Mhm.
it.
Okay.
Hopefully I described that
Oh,
properly.
what do you guys think? You want to stop one more time and take a look?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
All right.
You know, we're serving everyone's goals here. We're cleaning up the delirium littering the streets of Drakkenheim.
We're cleaning up. We're
yeah.
cleaning up the gold.
Yeah.
I like the way you spin it. Well, no, and Faily's part of
You
what...
want it gone? It's not doing anyone any good on the ground. Though it's a shame to sell it, but
Well,
I suppose sometimes needs must.
well, I think you'll probably understand my motivation maybe better than I do. I can sell delirium and get spells and get spell scrolls.
Yes.
And I want to keep learning magic. I want
Quite
to
right.
keep having the tools to better help us in here. So that's what I'm looking at this delirium as its ways to help us do what we want to do better. So if you guys are up for it, let's stop and look.
Yes.
Indeed.
Alright.
So that's a 18 for my Arcana.
Okay, so 18. We need Arcana, Investigation, or Survival. Any of those count.
18.
14.
18?
2 in a row.
18,
Yeah.
18 and 13?
14.
14, okay.
Double
Where's...
check.
Sorry, there's a specific rule here now that you've changed areas. Okay.
Delirium. Whenever you
Could I also just wild hair expend a spell slot? Expend 2 spell slots. Well, no, because it lasts an hour, right? Expend a spell slot for locate object to find the near the like what's the size of delirium we don't have, because we can't find any that we do have. We did find one of the 1,000 gold fragments in the in the Rat's Nest Tavern, right? So I'm gonna try to remember every time we do this. I'm just gonna expend a spell slot looking for something that size.
Okay.
Which I expect that we're not gonna find it, because you know those are harder to come by. But just checking.
I like it.
Yeah, let's see.
We're
So
looking
the
around.
locate item is basically just like almost an instant success. Let's take a look. Yeah.
It would be an instant success if it's there. The
If
question
it's-
is just, are we lucky enough to be within 1,000 feet of a shard that size?
Well, I think it's 30 feet. Am I crazy?
Locate object? No.
No, it's got to be 1,000.
Yeah, it's 1,000.
1,000 feet. Okay, cool.
So, like,
well,
we're a
that's a
quarter
great question. So, quarter mile in feet. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good.
So we'll find it if it's there. But like, there fully might just not be 1,000
Yeah.
GP like shard or like in that area.
Well, go ahead and roll me. We'll do it this way because I want to keep this set up. It doesn't say anything, so we're just gonna kind of leave this up to chance on this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
check.
roll me. Well, not even that. So we're gonna do luck check. Go ahead and give me a luck check. So just a straight luck check. See if it's there, and then go ahead and roll me a d20. And if it's under, what's like a ratio, like 16 or 17.
Are you going off of like the distance we have?
Yeah. Exactly.
So we have
it's
1,000
13,
feet.
1350
range spell.
and
And
it's
it's
1,000.
1420 quarter of
So
a mile range.
for the luck check, is that a D20 or D100?
Well, it's up to you. It's 50-50 either way. So it's
Okay.
is it there
So
or not?
I got an 11 on the D20.
Okay, so it is there. So it's technically there, right?
Okay. So,
But now-
we have a heading.
Yes.
And we find it.
Well, exactly. So now in the 1,000 whatever foot circle that you have around you, you are searching an area of let's say 1,400 feet, and so
Well,
let's.
no, I get the direction too. And
If-
like
if
I
it's-
continuously know the direction. Like if I'm within 1,000 feet of it, then I get like a compass heading pointing at it.
Right. But so what I'm saying is that you're searching an area that's a quarter of a mile, which is about 1,400 feet, and so it might not be in the 1,000
Okay,
feet
so
radius. Sorry, diameter.
Right. Where I happen to be searching, because I think it only lasts like an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So by all means, like go ahead and roll your d20, just a flat
Okay.
d20, and if it's like
Flat
under
D20.
17, then you succeed.
Okay, I got a 12.
A 12, great. So yeah, you have a compass heading towards this space, and you can at this point just locate it. So you could find this thing.
Cool. Does
Yeah.
someone else have it already?
In this space, no, it's actually entirely vacant. So it is. You find it. It's a pretty interesting. It's like it looks just
hold on,
for
you're-
fun.
Josh, you're freezing up.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Oh, hold on.
Someone.
Okay, there we go. We'll just stitch that back together. I had to pause it real quick while my internet stopped freaking out. Okay, great. Yeah, so you, it's actually pretty funny because you approach this.
Come on.
Oh,
Sorry, you cut. Okay, cool.
that looked
Alright,
good.
Let's see. We'll see how this stitches together here. Hopefully.
Sounding good now.
All right, we'll give it a quick second. All right, I think we should be okay. Okay. So as you're kind of like looking down I'm imagining that there's like the way that you're miming this out is you kind of have almost a weird kind of hovering compass rose over your hand as you're wandering, because your head's down, and it points towards this like row of buildings, and you're walking towards it. You're not really paying attention. You look up, and it looks, and it has the exact same vibe of the building that you went in when you found the ghost that took your skin off. It's not the same one, but it looks exactly the same.
I don't know if we need to go in there. I think this spell might be defective, actually. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Isn't this the house that?
No, it definitely isn't. Actually, it definitely isn't.
Okay.
I just I don't think like there wouldn't be a big shard of delirium here. That'd be crazy. I don't know why I bothered casting it.
So I'm taking a look in the windows. Are there windows? Look in. Is it?
Yeah, I mean they're broken, right? It looks kind of shattered, but there's definitely windows. Like you can look in. There's 2 or 3 levels up. Like think of it like a London brownstone or like a brownstone in general, right? Like 3 stories up.
All right. Well, I'm at least going to poke my head in.
Okay.
Take a look around.
Watch out for
What
ghosts.
do I? Okay, thanks.
So you poke your head in and see nothing.
Can
It seems quiet.
Can I cast
looks okay.
invisibility on Ryan?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So if you see anybody there, don't ask them if they need help.
This is great. I'm going in. Thanks. Going in?
So yeah, you go in. You
Going in.
explore the whole house. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check just for fun.
Come on.
A natural 1. You find a ghost.
No. A natural 20.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, so you start, sneakily kind of rooting around this place. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything. Nothing kind of jumps out at you to spook you. It is just an empty house. And as you get up to the top level, to kind of like the living quarters, where people would sleep, you see just under one of the larger beds, you just see kind of this like hue of purple glow. And you look under and there's this big ass delirium crystal under there.
Oh, somebody hid this for themselves. That's
How
a
utterly
shame.
selfish.
That's a shame. Is it wrapped up in anything, or is it just there?
It's just there. You'll have to wrap it if you don't want to touch it.
Okay. Nope. Pulling out gloves, because she has gloves from her climber's kit.
Mhm.
And looking around to make sure that it doesn't look like there's any traps or anything like that.
Yeah.
Boom. Underneath. Pulling it out.
Right? Yeah, it's
Drop it
heavy.
back
And
downstairs.
it's a hefty
I got
one.
this.
Yeah, but you walk downstairs, not harassed by anything. It legitimately seems as though someone either found this and hid it because they were being followed, or they weren't sure how to get rid of it. But they knew
Or they
it was
had to
gonna
go
be
meet
really
up with
valuable.
their Silver Order buddies after this, and didn't want to have to explain. Didn't
Yep.
want to have to be like, okay, well, I found this thing that's worth more than my house.
Yeah.
And my friends will want to smash it.
Yeah. Yeah, like this could buy me a griffin, right? Like I don't. So you walk out carrying this large shard, and the problem is that you're invisible, and when you pick it up, it becomes invisible, and
No,
so
it's not a.
you walk out and you walk out into the street, and then you speak
I
to
love
your
it.
compatriots.
So I walk out. I'm invisible. They don't see it. Say, oh, guys, I thought it was going to be in there. That's disappointing. I was really hoping, Failes, I was really hoping it was going to be up there.
As soon as you start talking, Failes just jumps and I think he fully Misty steps away, honestly.
Nice.
And as opposed to it goes to his blind sight, so I'm just like perceiving her.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh wait, okay, well, gosh, that was disappointing. Go ahead.
well.
You want to go ahead and drop the invisibility on me?
Yeah, let's keep it up. Good for traveling.
Okay, great.
And
I look at Ghost, knowing that he can see me.
I can
just
see
kinda
her
smile.
shape, so
with
I
your
can tell.
toddler-sized crystal.
I can see her holding something that's enormous, and I'm just smiling at Ryan, having fun in this moment.
I feel like because Pheles could also he has blind sight, right?
Only,
but I feel like
only 30 feet range though, right?
yeah. So if you misty step,
like he
so
would
funny.
come back like eventually once it became clear that that it was you. And I think that like Pheles doesn't understand that it's a joke. And he thinks that you have decided to keep it for yourself.
No.
And he's just
Okay.
well, that's fair. I don't have the I don't have the social framework to confront you about this, so I'm not going to.
Amazing.
Okay.
Bailey's begins plotting her death.
Yeah,
Right?
immediately.
It's like, dang. Okay, we'll make this work. We'll make this work.
This is why introverts are the most dangerous friends you can have.
Okay. So
Great. So you can store that in your bag if you would like. It is small enough to fit in your bag. It is a hefty thing, but it's not heavy enough to like cause you to have any problems, really. So no worries there. Great. So depending on how fast you're moving, you still have 2 more encounter rolls here.
We've been having really good luck with the slow rolling it.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys are gonna slow roll, go ahead and give me 2 a pop.
All right, 87 for me.
87. Okay.
12 for the D20.
Okay.
2.
Okay.
Again. Right, because it's the lowest.
Great. Okay. So I think there's a kind of a weird moment when you're walking through, and Ryan, you are invisible still, but you're walking through this area, and you encounter, I'd say, a camp that looks exactly the same as the one that you found the potion at. Which kind of gives you a pause. You're like, that's weird. How strange. Except that this one, there is no potion on the bench. There is actually a academy, Amethyst Academy mage standing there, with. Let's see.
Anyone I know?
No one that you know, actually. They look like they're kind of a lower tier mage, maybe that's someone that River brought in. You know, or just someone you hadn't met in Drakkenheim yet. But there are also like 4 hedge wizards, so like lower, like apprentice level wizards, kind of around. Mm-hmm. It looks like it's more of just a not a strike party, but more like an adventuring party to like kick around, see if they can find any delirium. And you see them kind of looking in this makeshift like encampment. You have the lean-to, the bench, the chest. And they you see them in the chest, kind of throwing stuff around. You see them like looking under the bench and like looking in the lean-to, and you're like, what? Wait! And then nothing happens. They're just
I guess Mimic's gotta mimic something.
Yeah.
I'll greet them as we're approaching.
And as you approach them and you greet them, they each turn around and they kind of like go into like an offensive position. They're like, who goes there?
Oh yes, hello.
As soon as they do that, I do the same thing.
But you're invisible. So.
You're invisible.
I don't care.
You're like, what?
Invisibly. Pheles has no situational awareness like of that at all. Just yes, hello. Pheles the Curious. Have you found something good here? Fear not. We're not here to poach anything.
Oh, well, I've heard of Pheles. River has been asking for you, actually. Was curious.
Oh, has she really?
Yeah, curious of where you have been. It's been almost a week. That's strange. How do I?
Yes, we've been in Drakkenheim.
Clearly.
Can you tell?
and they like their eyes kind of like narrow, and they're like, yes, clearly.
His third eye narrows.
Yeah.
Back at them.
You have like an eye on your forehead. You have your 2 eyes. You have eyes in the back of your hands, right? Like
I don't know how expressive Pheles' eyes are anymore. Like, given that he's a little bit calcified, and also he lost all of his skin right before the chitin grew. I don't know if he's really like
You're horrifying.
I think he's a little stiff. But
So good.
Oh, he's a little tight.
He's
but
like,
you know,
it's like peeling a piece of his head off.
yeah, keep your heads up. And I'm going to hand one of them a scroll of sleep.
Okay, and as you walk over and you hand him the scroll and you go, "This is incredibly valuable," and you just kind of like, are you just gonna keep walking?
Yeah, no,
You just-
absolutely. Certainly something we've learned in Drakkenheim is almost always the best thing you can do when something attacks you is to leave, and that can help. Not necessarily Drakkenheim, but leave the thing that's trying to kill you. They will often be distracted by something else killing them as soon as you leave. Being stalked through Drakkenheim is much less of an issue than you might imagine.
They kind of are looking at the scroll like, "Thanks, I guess."
Yes.
Okay, and they put it in their robes. And they're kind of looking at you like, strange.
Good luck out there. Also, there are ghosts, and they will take your skin.
You see, that's the last thing that they hear as you walk off, and they're like, "What?"
Have a nice day.
Yeah. And the heads were just like looking at each other like, "Oh no, we have made a grave mistake. We should not be here." Being in like a cave or a dungeon is way better than this place.
That's awesome.
Man.
We have made a great mistake.
No skin haunts in most caves.
Yeah, exactly. Oddly enough, yeah. Okay, well, if that is the how you're going to leave that encounter, there is one more left until you get to Emberwood. So go ahead and let's get it.
I love this. Don't be another 2.
71.
71. Okay.
13.
Is it 2?
4. It's a 4.
Okay, that's fine.
You improved by 100%.
So
I'm
what was
trying.
the D20?
13.
13.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So
Oh, no.
you are kind of at the edge now of Drakkenheim, and you haven't really come this way as you're leaving or entering, quite frankly. And you pass by on the corner a little potion shop that seems to have its windows blown out, very much like the rest of Drakkenheim. But this one has kind of a like a sickly sweet, almost like chemically bleachy smell coming from it. And as you look inside, you see a
Someone's like tanning leather in there.
yeah, exactly. Hey, how's it going? You see this like amorphous blob moving around on the ground a little bit in there. Ochre in color, kind of moving about. You also see a backpack on the counter in the shop that seems to be open. And inside you can see the shine of delirium inside the little bag. And the creature is like trying to kind of get to this bag, but it's in a weird spot that the jelly can't seem to reach.
Ryan, are you able to convey that out? With the duck.
Oh. Yes. I should be able to. As we're watching the blob, does it look like it's particularly fast? It's just kind of it's a blob.
It quite frankly looks pretty slow because it's a blob.
Okay.
So Erasmus starts walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It lifts itself up and then has chicken legs and it starts running towards you.
I'm just sprinting.
Let's start. Yeah, let's start with. It will pull me out of invisibility. Who cares? And
It doesn't have eyes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So yeah. So let's. Bailey's. That's a good idea. Thanks. Let's see what happens. Puts her hand out. Little mage hand goes out.
Yeah, your hand pops off.
Going
and-
around. Just like that. And interestingly, it's kind of the same color. It's kind of ochre. It's just kind of taking, it's a little chameleon. It's just kind of taking on the color of its environment. Scoots out, grabs the pack, pulls it back.
Okay.
Does the jelly start following it, or is it still trying to get up on the counter?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like when it grabs it, it starts to follow it. How fast is your hand move? It's pretty quick, right? It's 30 feet or
30
something.
I think it's 30.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
pretty
got
fast.
normal speed.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily outrun this thing.
Let's go.
Yeah, you can snag this thing, but it definitely like not only notices that, but sees you and starts to move towards you.
Okay, so Mage Hand comes back to me. I'm like, it sees us. Do we outrun it or do we take it out?
Oh,
I've never dealt with these before.
It'll just reform if we kill it. We don't need to waste the magic.
But
You
you
can
can-
just run around in circles while we search.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let's Ryan, can you just walk it around the block while we take a look inside?
Oh, yes.
You don't. I mean, just back and forth across the street.
No,
really.
It's taking the chicken pig for a walk. I'm in. You guys search. I'll walk our friend Blob around.
Blob.
Get him exercised.
Blob Marley.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it a wide berth as we're
Blob
gonna
Marley,
move it in.
perfect. And I'm, and judging by its speed, I'm just making sure that I stay far enough ahead of it.
Yeah, but it's a brisk walk. There's no running involved. You very much are brisk walking ahead of this amorphous
awesome.
moving
The
blob.
Just the scary like horror movie music.
Ryan just
Begin on
walking.
the slow.
Yeah.
Ryan like eating some jerky.
Yeah, I was gonna say
something
eating some
in the
jerks to snack.
bag.
Yeah.
Getting like one of those like Lysol wipes to like get the cleaner fingers.
And there's
Make
a moment when
make
you
sure
stop and
Mage
you.
Hand is clean. And like,
Look up
Oh.
and start a little bit because you realize that it got a little bit closer.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
a couple extra
Yeah.
steps to.
Exactly.
Like,
You
I
open your mouth, you're like,
pick a
oh,
little-
that's weird. I can't. Hold on.
get a little dust back there. I'm like, what is this? Oh my God! I've still got a leaf from that damn bush that tried to eat me. Okay, good.
And somehow Ryan gets a short rest. Yeah.
This would count as light activity.
Yeah. Great. So, you root around in the alchemist shop. Go ahead and give me investigation checks, both of you, and we'll
Cool.
see if you find anything extra.
All right. 16.
18.
Nice. All right. Let's see. Let's find out. Oh, this is fun. Oh, this is fun. Go ahead and give me.
10 more oozes.
Yeah. You open the door
building
and
is
suddenly
mimic.
all of the bottles fall, and you are now
I
in
got
a
a stat
fight
block for
that
that.
might kill you.
There's an ooze wearing Faylee's old skin. It's weird.
Yeah, oh my God. Bailey's skin becomes an enemy. Oh God.
That'd be sick. Writes that down. I'm sure.
Write that down. That'd be a
Um,
great, like powerful enemy. The skin of a powerful wizard.
Yeah. Cool. So one of you give me a D10, and one of you give me a D100. Let's see how.
Ooh,
we're
I'll do the
looking at this.
100.
I'll do the 10.
78.
4.
4. All right. 78. This is very fun. All right. So you root around in the. All right, we're gonna do 2 because it's fun. You each get 1 because it's fun. You find a vial of. As you pick it up, it's utter understanding.
Oh.
So it makes you, if you were to drink it, makes you very intimately know all the details about one exact thing.
Ooh.
But it's random based on your
Oh.
current situation. So it's contextual, but you
Oh.
can't be like, I would like to know the secrets of Drakkenheim. Whoa! You know?
Yeah, like it's something that is like present and immediate.
Yes.
Thing.
Does it have
within
Faylee's
that,
name
do we
on
get-
it?
I know, yeah, right.
Within that, do we get to choose, or is it like just one thing that's near you that you don't know about, you learn about?
I'll say contextually, and this will be, I think, a conversation between me and whoever decides to drink this. You can definitely pick one, or you could just say, give me a contextual piece of information of where we are. but you get to know everything about that thing.
That's so exciting.
It's
So,
like Drak GPT.
yeah, exactly. And sometimes it might be wrong, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just like it.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll another. Oh, actually. Oh, there's more. Oh my God, there's more. This table's great. Roll me another D10, another D100. We're still going. The same potion.
Ooh,
Go, baby, go.
Got a
88.
Got a
Two.
2. Okay. Well, the 88 is irrelevant because it has no side effects by drinking it, so that's great. Go team. All right. So now we start at the top again and we go down again. All right. So give me another D10, D100. Erasmus, go ahead and roll the D100 this time because this is technically the potion.
87.
And what'd you get, Felix, for the
6 for the D10.
6? Okay. So you found a tonic of truth. You said 86?
87.
87. Ooh. This is fun. You found a tonic of God's touch. It gives the user a holy connection to their god or fiendish deity.
In Drakkenheim?
In Drakkenheim, which is very fun. And I should actually say there are gods in this universe. In Drakkenheim, they are not speaking to you, which I think is the critical component of Drakkenheim. It's like when you are around or in Drakkenheim, the gods have abandoned you. So this is a very fun potion. It's kind of like kicking the door open on a god's bathroom and being like, "You're gonna talk to me, damn it."
It's when you're the cat reaching under the door
Yeah.
of the bathroom.
That's exactly what it is. Okay, so I need another D10, another D100, and we'll see if there's a side effect to it.
Cool. Can I do the 100 this time?
Yeah, I'll do the 10.
Okay.
9.
That's another 6 on the 100.
Okay.
On the 100. I got more on the D10 than you got on a D100.
Oh,
Yikes.
This is fun. So I'm gonna reveal this because I want you to write this down because the problem is I probably won't remember it and it'll get lost in all of
we
my
won't
notes.
metagame that shit, you know. us.
Yeah, and so when you drink this, you can speak to your god or entity. Maybe it's just the form you turn into, right? Whatever we decide that ends up being. But whenever you do, you get flashbacks of how you are going to die.
Flashbacks?
Like, well, not flash. I guess not flashbacks because you're not dead, but visions. It was a terrible wording on that, but visions of how you are going to die, and they are powerful, strong. Like you lose sight for a minute. Like while you're in that state, you lose full control of all the things that are going around you.
And this
like
is
you just kind of
which
stand.
potion?
It's called the
Potion of God's Touch?
This
yeah,
is
the
the
tonic
God's
of
Touch
God's
ones?
touch. Yeah.
The tonic of God's touch.
Yeah.
Oh
do you want to hold on to that one and I'll hang on to the vial of utter understanding?
I want the God's touch. Yeah,
God, how
yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
It-
cool.
Absolutely perfect for both you guys.
Right? I'm really happy about this. I can imagine Erasmus just, learning about his death and some other secret of the universe.
Bailey's like uncorks it, like takes a whiff, and oh my god! About the sage.
I hope we would safely say that I know this is a God's touch tonic, but I don't know about the side effect, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say like, I hope I die peacefully in my sleep like grandfather, but not screaming like the people in the carriage he was driving.
And I think it's gonna be funny because you'll like see how you're gonna die, and then you face your deity, and you'll be like, "Can I fix that? Like, can I change that?"
So yeah, we amble out to meet up with Ryan. Just kind of like angling around, the ooze following you.
We're both like rubbing our temples at the discovery that we've made.
Wow. Oh,
You guys-
what'd you find in that backpack?
You guys okay? Yeah,
There's some
the back.
there was some crazy potions in there.
They're definitely the kind of potions that one would want to avoid, I think.
Did you take something?
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
I had like a little not really.
You didn't inhale. I understand. Backpack. I take a look at the backpack. No, you guys, the backpack was great. What's in
Yeah.
the backpack?
You found
A potion of ooze attraction.
with the side effect
Oh my God,
of
that's my type.
um,
It's been a while.
you found 8 delirium chips, and from what I remember, delirium chips are worth
10?
10.
Yeah.
I think 10. So here you go. Not bad.
Hey, we'll take it.
Ah,
It's not quite a spell scroll, but we'll get there.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you you Ryan, you can scribe rituals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want some scrolls as well? I've been hanging on to some for a while, and I don't know if they're gonna come up.
Are they scrolls that I can put in my book?
None of them are scrolls that you could put in your book, but you could cast them. I think they are all out of character. I think they're all warlock spells.
Hey,
Like-
if you're not going to use them, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And in fact, maybe you can help me. Yeah, maybe you could help me with them. Show me how to use them a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah, or you could
I'd love it.
like sell them to help get access to the spells that you want. Also, I don't think you do need spells because we have access to all those books that we stole. And so you
Right.
like you still have to pay money to scribe, but you can scribe straight from those without having to buy the scrolls.
And every spell was in there.
Yeah. So we won't have to buy scrolls, but we'll need money for fancy ink.
For the ink.
It's for
But
experimentation and like
ink-
learning process.
Was it the books you got? Was it every wizard spell? Was that what you grabbed? Because
I think it was
you can
every
always
wizard
go back.
spell, but I don't like. There's only a handful of warlock spells that aren't wizard spells, and none of them are the ones that Laurie can learn. Like Laurie, oh yeah, I guess there's lots of rituals that Laurie could learn that, or that Ryan could learn that we wouldn't have in those books. So
Yeah,
still worth
but,
getting
but you can always go back
clarity
and get
spells
it.
and
You know
stuff.
what I mean? Like it's not a problem. So
Yeah, you could get like a ceremony scroll.
Got it.
Okay. But yeah, so I have a scroll for you of locate object, one of featherfall, one of jump, one of sleep, and one of fairy fire.
Did you have 2 scrolls of sleep? I think you did.
I had more to begin with, but I used some of them.
Mhm.
I put a lot of money into sleep scrolls back right when we got paid the first
Back
time.
when you thought that we
Right.
would be killing our way through the entire.
Thales, this is great. So this one's sleep. I've seen you use it, and I saw you give it to them.
Yes,
which
so
is a really smart thing.
It's incredibly useful when you're facing a number of weak foes, or when you have one that is near death and you want to be certain that they won't get another chance to attack you.
Fantastic. And fairy fire, we know that one. That helps light them up, gives us an advantage. Sorry, what were the others?
Jump, which is contextually sometimes very useful, not something that you use in combat though.
Okay.
And featherfall and locate object.
Great.
Having 2 locate objects locked and loaded would be pretty sweet.
No, this is fantastic. And yeah, I've got the book. I've been learning some, but some of the ritual ones will get in there.
I'd love to tutor you in some of those. It's rituals are something that I was always quite good at.
I would appreciate that. Yeah, this magic is new to me. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun, and
Yes, magic is fun.
I
I
like-
don't know. I don't know
yeah.
why more people have realized that. In addition to being a great source of evil, it's also delightful and exciting, and no no understanding of the world can be complete without it.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It always gives me another way to think of how to solve problems.
Mhm.
So that's why I want to have as many spells, as many scrolls, as much as I can. That just seems to help us solve problems better. So
Yes, but
this is awesome. Thank you. And yeah, you know the deal. I'm gonna keep hitting you up to help me. I feel like I'm lucky to have somebody with your experience.
and likewise, yes.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is awesome, actually. Uh, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking lucky to have someone with your experience. I'm looking at his skin and his shell, and I'm like, those were the right words. It's fine. Okay. And we're moving, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you have spent the better part of the afternoon. I'd say it's probably getting to be evening now.
Yeah,
as
I
you're
think it's
approaching.
been like 7 or 8 hours since we left the crater.
Yeah.
And we kind of went to the crater first thing in the morning.
Yeah, so it's probably, what would that be? If you...
We spent some time at the crater.
Yeah, because it was early when you got to the crater. You spent some time there, and then walked there. Yeah, I'd probably say it's about, let's say 4 p.m. So sun is starting to set as you re-enter Emberwood again for, the long, since a long bit ago. At least that's what it feels like. A solid business week, being away from your home base, quote unquote, home away from Drakkenheim. It's 5 days is a pretty long time. So as you enter again, there are many different places you can go. I will say that one of the things that you notice as you approach, and you see this at Camp Dawn as well on the approach, a lot of activity. A lot of stuff going on. A lot more stuff than I think anyone expected. Erasmus, you notice Camp Dawn is... When Camp Dawn kind of prepares for a major military push, there are certain markers that they do. They get things ready. They start to prep stuff. This is probably the biggest one you've ever seen. And the last time you were here, they kind of emptied the camp out, right?
Oh, wow.
And so this seems to be a bigger push than the one that you saw last time, where it was kind of an empty camp. Which, in your mind, having spent so much time with the Silver Order, means the first one was a really, really intense scouting mission, an armed scouting mission to make sure that the numbers didn't dwindle in the strength and the reserves. And then now it's the actual push. Like, they got the answer they were looking for, and now something's happening. Additionally, you see a good number of people from the Hooded Lanterns moving about Emberwood in larger numbers than I think you've seen in a while, because they tend to find themselves closer to Drakkenheim more often. That's kind of their whole vibe. You see a couple Amethyst Academy mages, not as many as you would expect. But what's interesting, and I think what's fascinating about what you're seeing as the sun gets late in the day as you approach Emberwood here, is that there seems to be a lot of like roguish people about. So people you could assume would be at least in somewhat of a league with the Queensmen. But they're not being harassed or bothered, or quite frankly, they're not doing anything untoward, and they're just kind of sidestepping a lot of the Hooded Lanterns and a lot of the Silver Order that are moving in this space, because both of those factions are moving with purpose. The Queensmen are also moving with a purpose, and it's unclear if it's the same purpose or not. Regardless of kind of what you know, there is definitely something happening that is set this entire little town above.
I'm going to rush to the direction of Camp Dawn and not I'd be so focused with my mind worrying that I'm not reminding myself to talk or check in with my companions. I'm immediately heading that way.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, can I start heading over towards River?
Yeah. And Rand, where would you like to go?
I'm going with Ghost.
Go Ghost. Okay.
I'm a few steps behind him. I'm not talking to him. But I'm staying with him.
Good. So we'll do Phalese first as you're making your way to Camp Dawn. Camp Dawn's a little bit of a walk. It's not too far, but it's a little bit of a walk. So Phalese, you enter I think it was the Red Lion Hotel.
Yeah, the Red Lion Inn.
And you find River. You find a couple other people around her having kind of a conversation. All seem to be in academy robes. All seem to be having kind of like not a hushed conversation, but what seems to be a private conversation. At least as much as they could make it so. And it seems to be a relatively serious one. As you
I'll approach like and close enough that I see like a flicker of like her noticing me. And just try to like hang back at a respectful distance while I wait for her to acknowledge me.
Okay. And you see that acknowledgement, and are you trying to overhear anything that they are talking about? They're not necessarily like trying to keep quiet, but okay.
I thought that was you introducing yourself. Sorry.
Hello, kids. I'm River. Yeah, go ahead and give me perception to see if you can hear.
That's not gonna. That's an 8.
An 8. Okay. Let's see. You still hear stuff, but you don't hear the context. What you hear is like, kind of a low mumble, and they're talking, and they're clearly talking about something. And then you hear the words Temple Gate, and then you hear the words Silver Order. And that's pretty much all you catch. And they're kind of hastily talking. They have paper in between them, and they're talking, and they're kind of deliberating.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose restraint. Oh yes, the Temple Gate. We were just there. What's going on over there?
You see the mages around kind of hush and kind of like take the scrolls and tuck them away.
Apologies. Phalese the Curious. Hello. Yes.
Yes, and River has not gotten up, by the way. River is still sitting down. She's conversing with these people while sitting. It is very clear that River is one of the kind of higher ranking mages in this area. If it wasn't apparent, it is very apparent now. And they quickly tuck away the papers that they were doing. She goes, yes, Phalese. Well,
I apologize for our long absence. It's we spent a week in the inner city. It was a time. I'll have to tell you all about it some other time. What's going on?
And you see that all of the mages, when you mention spending a week in the inner city, they all kind of look at each other like, "Are you?" What? And then they look at you and they're like, "All right."
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
It's clear that he's been there.
I've been to
Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Like harpy feather cloak.
yeah. There's like a question of like, how is he alive? And they look at you and they go,
Like
is he alive?
A mutant cat perched on his shoulder.
Yeah, melancholy is the most normal portion about you at this point.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
And you see a couple things flash over River's face, I think all at the same time, as you excitement, curiosity, fascination, horror, and then a little bit of being impressed. But I think there's excitement more than any other emotion, I think, is what you kind of immediately get. And you're like, she goes, we were going to have to talk about that in a second, because if you spent a week in the inner city, you very clearly have been to the tower. We need to talk about that. However, because you have been to Templegate recently, I would like for you to tell me what you saw there. What did you see at the Templegate? The Templegate was the Gamir stronghold.
Oh yes. Yes, an enormous Garmish stronghold. There were a number of trolls nearby, but perhaps 100, 150 Garmir like sort of camping around there. the approach from the west side, I recall being having some decent cover up until a certain point. And yeah, I'm just gonna relay just like every bit of information like I can about that. We got fairly close before diverting to not so as to not run into them.
And you see they as you start to kind of divulge this information, one of the mages pulls the sheet out from their sleeve and immediately kind of shows it to one of the other standing mages around and kind of pointing and saying, "Look, this intel is correct. Then I mean, the numbers make sense. It may not line up directly. I mean, if it's a week old, the intel might be a little bit off, but at least they can't move 100, 150 in a week. That's too much. They wouldn't abandon their post for a week." River has not looked up at this person at all. Like, they are talking above her, but she is locked like on you.
We encountered a number of roving scouting parties around the area as well.
Which was fascinating. What do you know of the Silver Order?
Besides
I know they are attached to a religious organization that's in rather poor straits right now. I know that they don't seem to value the lives of their members overmuch, and that they are somewhat unreasonable when it comes to magical assistance.
And she looks at you and she kind of glances at your armor that you're wearing, because I'm pretty sure that's the Silver Order armor.
It is Silver Order armor. I kind of burned the like any enameling and insignia off, but it is still clearly Silver Order armor.
Yeah, and so she kind of glances down and looks back up at you and says, "That was our assessment as well. It seems as though the Silver Order is attempting to make a push to take Templegate and have a stronghold in the inner city.
It's marginally better than the Garmir, I suppose.
Yes, if their forethought and focus was not to destroy the delirium as opposed to study it.
Yes.
We are unsure of which side to support. The problem is that, as you astutely
is supporting the Garmir an option?
Sabotaging the Silver Order is an option. Not necessarily supporting the Garmir, but preventing the Silver Order from having the strength to maybe make such a push. Not make one unsuccessfully, but prevent it entirely. Prevent the bloodshed.
Yes.
At least delay long enough for us to get what we need from it.
Yeah, the Amethyst Academy certainly doesn't have the resources to man a sustained outpost there, or at least they haven't deployed those.
Yeah. Not without the tower.
That would give them sustained access to the inner city of Drakkenheim, but it's not particularly close to any of the densest concentrations of delirium. What sort of sabotage were you imagining?
It's hard to say. So it would really depend upon. Here's the thing. I do not believe
an open conflict.
Exactly. We also do not want we also do not think that there is enough Silver Order and enough strength of the Silver Order to destroy all of the delirium in Drakkenheim. That seems to us quite absurd and would take many years, giving us many opportunities to do it. However,
it's deeply inconvenient to destroy.
Well, not only that, but on top of it, they haven't even. This is just an initial ingress into the inner city, which has the highest concentration and the strongest crystals, as well as the strongest defenses. So we would have more time. The problem is that it also cuts into our existing time, which we don't necessarily like as well. So
opportunity cost.
Right. So the only reason that we would truly choose to sabotage them in a way, in this would probably be, magically sabotaging some of their items, or putting all of their animals to sleep, or something non-violent in a way, is to prevent them from making an ingress so that they can destroy the delirium faster. It is always a possibility that they can force destroy all the delirium that they find, cutting down our ability to do research on it rather quickly, much more quickly than we would like, especially without Oscar Yuan, which we are also going to talk about in the future. However, this takes precedence. So The only reason that we wouldn't sabotage them is if they have an overt, powerful piece of strategy, of something, an ace in the hole, so to speak. If they have that, then victory on their side is almost assured, and we want to make sure that we're at least in their relative good graces, because that we can use that ingress point to retake the inscrutable tower.
Yes, absolutely. On that subject, if it's fine if I share here, my allies and I breached the inscrutable tower and explored much of its lower reaches.
You say all of them there are just like, you did what?
Yes, just yesterday, in fact, we have some ideas about how to reach the upper reaches, but they are. It is somewhat inconvenient due to the magical instability between the two segments of the tower.
And you see, when you reveal that, they immediately kind of shift to the thing. Actually, the guy who pulled the paper out just tears it in half and just goes, at this point, we need to support the Silver Order. We need to help them take the Temple Gate. If the inscrutable tower is already breached by a member of our own faction, we need to jump on this opportunity, and the best opportunity we have would be to take Temple Gate and use that as a forward operating outpost in order to get supplies and more manpower, more wizard power, more arcane power to the inscrutable tower to reclaim it in the name of the Amethyst Academy. And this is one of the guys that's just like talking to the people around, and River's just still kind of like.
Sorry, Josh, you're cutting out again.
Like, don't do it now. It's such a good.
It's a good moment.
Is that better? Yeah.
It's a little iffy.
Okay. Well, let me pause it. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. And you see, River has a very unreadable expression on, and it seems as though River is kind of like the person who makes the decisions here without the kind of. There is always someone higher up than River, like that's kind of a known thing by her title. But it seems as though the micromanaging of this situation, especially handling of the inscrutable tower and the retaking of it, kind of falls upon her shoulders. And so her face is very unreadable as the people around her are talking. And she kind of holds her hand up and she says, Phalese, if you were to choose based on the information that you have and your knowledge of the Silver Order, which might be intimate enough to be comfortable wearing their garb, what would you choose for the Amethyst Academy in this moment?
I think there is limited use in sabotaging them at this point in time. I think that things are moving quickly within Drakkenheim, and it is likely that they will be a part of whatever order resolves itself. And they are never going to be steadfast allies, but without excellent reason, I wouldn't give them reason. I wouldn't give them reason to treat us with more enmity than they are already inclined to do. I think we could delay them somewhat through sabotage, but I think the level of sabotage that would be required in order to make a significantly impede them would overextend the Amethyst Academy, and I think they are not a great enough threat to the Academy's research to be worth it in this situation. That's my read, at least. There are certainly people of competence within the Silver Order, but honestly, I don't expect their foray to be successful. And if it is successful, it will expend enough of their ability to operate that I expect they will sort of take themselves out of the running as a player in Drakkenheim in the short term, as they recover.
And you see River considers for a second, and then very quickly makes the kind of sigil for ascending spell, speaks something under her breath, which you hear is very much describing the situation to whoever that might be. And then there's kind of a long pause, and you see all the people kind of around River are kind of staring at her, and she kind of has her eyes down, nodding a little bit, and then looks back up at you, Felix, goes, "That's our assessment as well. All right. The Amethyst Academy will, in this moment, help the Silver Order to gather as much good faith as we possibly can, in the full knowledge that they may not have the strength afterward to very quickly destroy
a measured amount of help, I imagine.
Yeah, well, as all things within the academy are measured.
Quite right. Have you any idea what has inspired the Queen's men to apparently suffer a flurry of activity right now?
I think they smell blood in the water and either want...
Oh, I suppose there will be a great deal of looting to happen.
Well, that and the way to the inner city will be open, and they don't have to deal with those... that religion, she says, kind of eyeing the purple glow kind of around your neck.
Yes, they can be somewhat difficult to talk to for some people.
Indeed. That's my assessment. I don't know if they will outright help. I don't know if they will outright hurt. It is something to keep an eye on as we help in this approach. As you've also noticed, the Hooded Lanterns are also giving their, at least whatever little strength that they have towards the push, as a way of cleansing their old city, so to speak.
Yes, that makes sense.
So seems to be a concerted effort apart from the religious sect to push towards taking this gate.
Yes, the Hooded Lanterns are perpetually overextended, so I imagine whatever help they offer will also be measured in its own way.
Who knows? These Hooded Lanterns will surprise you. They are they're never out. They can be down, but they're never out. They are quite the savage fighters, even though their number is quite small. So.
Certainly. They've the Hooded Lanterns are the most competent people we've encountered in Drakkenheim for the most part. But indeed, there's an awful lot that they're trying to do.
Indeed.
Sort of all at once.
So it's assumed then. I would like you, Felix, to help in kind of whatever way that you can. And I trust in your
helping.
Perfect. I trust in your measured approach to the help that you will give the Silver Order. The goal is we would like them to succeed. If they do not succeed, then we would like to know about it immediately.
Yes.
Oh, and don't die.
And for the efforts retaking the tower, I was wondering if I could consult your own peculiar genius as to how you think that space might be traversable. Have you encountered any similar instability, such as the corrupted lightning that seems to be filling the area that we need to traverse?
I have seen it. I have not seen it outside of that, apart from the crater itself. It seems to be some effect that is drawn from whatever landed, the actual meteor itself. So the tower was one of the first things that was struck, and then it landed in the crater itself. So my recommendation, quite frankly, and I'm surprised that you are asking this, but you seem to have gone through multiple stages of your exploration of Drakkenheim, but the answer, to me at least, is to just fly. And just fly up through it.
That was, of course, my first thought as well. I hadn't encountered this particular sort of phenomenon before. I didn't know if it might be instantly lethal.
I don't know. I've never been hit by it. I do not know if
we can find someone else to attempt to fly. But
that would probably be the best way in order to measure its efficacy on lethality.
Yes, perhaps perhaps you could aid me with some some magical accoutrement to that effect. But we can speak of that later. For the no, yes, how would you like to be notified when we have recovered all that we may from the tower?
Well,
Is there something in particular you would like us to recover, or I wasn't stationed there, and so I have very little familiarity with the tower's layout.
if it's possible to find the inscrutable staff, that would be wonderful. My hopes for finding that artifact are.
And that was carried
thin.
by the
Archmage of the
Archmage?
tower. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So ideally, it would be in their office. Maybe they took it with them. It's very difficult to say. It hasn't been seen. It could be anywhere. It could not even be in the tower. We have no idea. But if you find it there, that would be fantastic. You will know it when you see it because it is the most powerful arcane artifact that you will find. Barring that, pretty much anything from the kind of headmaster or archmage's office as proof of reclamation of the tower would be wonderful. My recommendation is, as dangerous as it is, do not shut off the lightning, because you don't know what happens if you reverse that in any way. And we would like to preserve what is above that until we know how to restructure it safely.
Yes, certainly preferable to sift through a building rather than a pile of rubble.
Absolutely. Yes. But that is the goal. As long as you clear the tower and you have proof that you have done so, we will be overjoyed. If we manage to take Temple Gate, then we will have a forwarding operating base out of Temple Gate there to help you.
I think to that end, I could benefit from a handful of scrolls, perhaps one of Dimension Door and one of Fly.
Yes. I don't remember how much we decided for those. Do you remember how much they would be?
It was double the upper limit. I think. Oh man.
She definitely has them.
Yeah.
We can figure that out afterwards. She definitely has them, and you can have
Okay.
them in the price.
My recollection is it was something like 200 per thing base, right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I have a for scroll base. I have a 500 for like second and third at least. I have a 500 piece shard of delirium. Could I exchange that for the 2 scrolls?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So if you pull it out and you say, "Can I get those scrolls for this?" She just goes, "Absolutely," and wraps it in a cloth, takes it from you, and puts it in kind of a bag next to her chair. Good luck.
As Felix is handing it over, like there's a moment like, oh wait, no.
Yeah. And she takes it very unceremoniously, wraps it and just yanks it from your hands and puts it in the bag.
Thank you very much. Well, yes, it's been lovely. I will represent the Amethyst Academy well. By the way, I believe some paperwork got lost at some point, and I don't know that I ever received formal recognition of my status as a guild mage. Is there something you could do about expediting that?
Yes, I can ask. Why? What is
For sentimental reasons.
Okay. Yes, then absolutely. We can expedite that for you. Also, did you speak with Oscar Yorin?
I did, yes.
Okay. Any luck on that front?
I found him to be a dangerous incompetent. I tragically did not bring what I needed to in order to secure his research. I won't make that mistake again. It appears I have done a measure of my own research on the foundational principles underlying the Aqua Spurgo. However, as you might be able to see, if yes, it's at least I believe my theory is sound, which is the delirium naturally binds to living creatures and attempts to mold them to conform to some other shape that is encoded in it, and both the Aspergo and the ritual of the cult of the fallen fire appear to function by aligning a creature's motive spirit with the with sort of the natural frequencies of the delirium, so that tension is relieved and does not attempt to resolve itself through mutation. I do intend to return to Oscar Yorin and recover that, but should I not, I believe his research is replicable and improvable, since he seems to have neglected to even attempt to cultivate the eldritch lilies that are infused with delirium that are the main functional ingredient of the Aqua Spurgo.
Fascinating.
And I haven't yet attempted this, but I believe, based on my own botanical understanding, that they should be cultivatable, so long as you have a ready source of environmental delirium for them to absorb.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, when you meet Yorin again,
Yes.
ensure that you get his research, which will compound your own, and put the Amethyst Academy in a wonderful spot to Templegate lost or Templegate gained in a great spot to know more about the delirium than we do now.
Yes, quite right. If there are not other issues with doing so, I had intended to set up an experimental manufacturing facility to see if it can be refined, and just if the general process can be improved.
He
But
kind of has a wry smile at that and goes, "That sounds about right."
cool.
I'd love to
Well,
hear it.
I didn't know if perhaps there was compartmentalization happening, where it would be better not to conduct that research outside the halls of the Amethyst Academy. But so long as there's not an issue with that, I will pursue it.
Yeah, as far as our opinion is, at least at the moment, any information is good information.
Quite right.
And we will consolidate after the fact once we have a place to consolidate to.
Okay. Thank you kindly. And I'm going to leave.
Sweet.
What's going on with everybody else?
Yeah. So as you walk out, they all kind of like are staring at you, like walking out, and they're not saying anything, and they're just kind of like, "Well, that was a fascinatingly enlightening conversation." And then they kind of go back of like low conversation, kind of looking at you as you're walking out the door, and then go back to their conversation. And we come back to these two yokels heading to Camp Dawn quickly. So as Pheles heads to the Red Lion Hotel, the two of you quickly head to Camp Dawn, where it is very clear that there is a lot of movement, action, and a large military gathering kind of starting. And you start to approach the camp, and very much like with all military things, when there's a large organization happening, a lot of battle plans, two guards that Erasmus you have seen but you do not know stop you at the front and say, "Who goes there? Silver Order members only. Pass this way."
I procure my shield and kind of show the Silver Order sigil on the inside of it as I say, Erasmus Saint Wraith. And how would I introduce Ryan, who has been here before? Trying to remember, it's been a while.
Friend of the band.
Yeah,
And a friend of the order. Yeah.
perfect.
And they kind of glance at each other. Go ahead and roll. Not intimidation. What am I thinking of? We never roll this one. Persuasion. For Ryan specifically.
Oh, for Ryan. Okay. But am I doing it for Ryan or?
You're doing it. You're doing it for because you
Okay.
you were the one who was
Got
talking.
it. Give him a little guidance on that.
Sure.
Put my hand on his shoulder.
15 total.
15. Great. So they pause for a second and they see your sigil, see the shield, kind of immediately acknowledge it. They know the name Erasmus St. Wraith, and their eyes go to Ryan. I think it's pretty apparent to you at this point, Erasmus, that this is no idle thing. Like, this is a very serious moment happening in Camp Dawn. You haven't really seen the military arm of the Silver Order come to, I think, this much like congregation in a long time. The tightening of discipline, the tightening of security, and you see they linger on Rand for a little bit, and then they both kind of pull their pikes up, and they say, "Enter and please report to the Knight Captain's quarters for assignment."
All right. I will head in that direction, and I will immediately go to the Knight Commander.
Yeah.
As his tent as soon as possible. Like.
Yeah. So as you approach again, 2 more guards, and they stop you out front, which again it's just giving you more and more information that like this is no joking matter. Like, this is a pretty serious thing. And these ones you do know, you've met them before. They are the very standard guards. You know, you gave one of them the letter.
Yeah.
They say Erasmus, or it's Ghost.
Ghost. Yeah.
What do you? You're late. Where have you been? You've been gone for a week. We thought you were dead.
I was on a scouting mission of the most pressing matters in the inner city of Drakkenheim for the last 5 days. I have much to report, most urgently so.
And they kind of look at each other, and they look at Ryan, and then they look back to you, and you don't even need to make a persuasion check at this point. You know, with certain people in certain circles, you being on a scouting mission for 5 days isn't necessarily weird. You being in the inner city for 5 days is, even if it's a lie, they are going to let you in regardless, because they know that if you are lying, it's going to be spilled in front of people who would have no problem putting you in shackles, right?
Right.
So they just kind of let you in, and they say, let the Knight Commander know he's amongst the generals right now, but if you approach, he will take your meeting. There's much afoot, Ghost.
What is happening? It's good to be back. What's happening?
You need to talk to the Knight Commander. He will fill you in.
Right. Very well. Ryan, come with me. And I will step through and bow and salute, or whatever the protocol is.
So as you walk in, you see them surrounding this. Well, it's a battle table, right? It's a war table. Map of Drakkenheim.
I'm painting my movies.
Hey, exactly. Yeah, they're moving things with a stick, right? They're like, and then, you know,
there's a grid overlay on
yeah, yeah. You know, and they're having conversations. You see that a lot of the figures, especially what would consider like a full garrison or a full contingent of Silver Order members, is moved towards where you know to be Temple Gate. And then you see a figure that looks like a Gamir or a Knoll standing at that gate. There's a couple of them. Obviously, there's not 100 that you have seen, but enough to convey a large enough force. One of the things that you also notice before looking up and seeing the face of the Knight Commander is you see a contingent of the Hooded Lanterns, which there is a representative of one in this room. It's actually, oddly, Petra is in this room. And the Hooded Lanterns are moving from the inner city, from their little hideout, like from their gate into the north, seem to be being pushed into the back. going past the cathedral towards Temple Gate. So it seems to be a pincer move from both sides, which is a very risky move, because if you lose, the Hooded Lanterns are lost. They are in the inner city by themselves. And you kind of notice that immediately, and you look up and you see the face of the Knight Commander, and all the generals kind of shuffle out of the way. And he goes, Ghost, and friend I don't know, which I trust you are here on good reason. Where have you been?
Inner city and surrounding areas of Drakkenheim for the last 5 days. I have been performing many duties in the name of the Silver Order, having helped the contingent led by, or the small squad led by Sir Zacharias. I have been to the clock tower, to the mage's tower. I have located a rogue mage, Oscar Yorin. I have been to the crater. I have been to, and I just like go
Just
list
check,
everywhere
check,
on the
check.
map,
Yeah.
and I say, I've done much and hope to serve the Silver Order's goals here in an effort to preserve life, the lives of these great and brave soldiers.
You see Petra kind of leans down, puts her elbows on the table, and kind of goes, well, that's mighty impressive, Ghost.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. And I didn't get to properly thank you in front of your commanding officers, so I appreciate you saving my life. And you see all the generals, like all the people around the table, like, okay, like you just listed off like a far superior like command list than a lot of people around this table. They look at each other like, all right, okay, well.
This guy's
great.
called Ghost.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah. And yeah, living up to the name for sure. And you see that commander kind of stares at you and kind of is trying to determine whether or not you are lying, but not in like a
Right.
intense
So it's just
way.
more disbelief. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has this layer, I think, of scrutability. Like he is
Okay.
trying to determine if you are stretching the truth. And as Petra kind of gives you that information, he sees in your face like, nope, just given the facts.
Yep.
And he laughs heartily, slams his hand down, and just goes, well, that is a list, and it will be of mighty help here as we are trying to push towards Temple Gate, to probably make your life in the inner city considerably easier. Zachariah did actually end up reporting and said that he had seen you, and that he accompanied you. Didn't say much about you helping, but very much reported that he had seen you in the inner city as he was trying to clear out the clock tower. And so, if that is true, and what Petra has said is true, I can only believe everything that you have said. And my boy, well done.
Oh yeah. I'm not here to put doubt on Sir Zacharias' courage, though I will say it was displeasing to see someone of his rank spend his men's lives so recklessly when such great movements such as these need every able-bodied soldier in the position that they have, shoulder to shoulder with their brethren. What I'm sure Sir Zacharias omitted was to keep honor intact.
Indeed. Well, Zachariah was actually sent on a mission to reclaim the clock tower so that we could use it as a forwarding base so that the Hooded Lanterns were not alone in this push on the inner city.
I have secured the tower, sir. Killed the Harpy leadership alongside what my compatriots here who can confirm everything. I have made it a very pertinent piece of my scouting missions and wouldn't have been able to do any of what I've done and gleaned all the knowledge that I have gleaned without it. So if it's possible, sir, the requisition to keep the clock tower accessible to, of course, the Silver Order, but under my What's the word? Stewardship.
It's a mighty big request, Ghost.
Take
however,
the information you have, sir, and you will tell me if it's worth it.
However, I think that conversation should happen after the battle. We cannot station any Silver Order at the clock tower yet, as we are making the push. Come tomorrow, it would take too long for us to position anyone and well rest them there. However, should you provide additional assistance, you seem to be in a very unique situation where you know both sides of the wall around Temple Gate. We would happily give you stewardship over that place, having it still be open to both the Hooded Lanterns and the Silver Order, should we take Temple Gate with your help. And then you see he kind of pauses and hits like a half turn to Petra, and Petra goes, "What do you know about St. Vitruvio's Cathedral?"
I've navigated with my compatriots carefully around there. We know that there has been a place where multiple factions have been in opposition of each other. And I'm not keen to kill people, sir. I'm here to kill monsters. The people of Drakkenheim are those people. I know that coming into contact with the Queen's Men, and I list like all the other factions that they have. I know there's a chance in Drakkenheim for people to be broken down to the basis of their training or their more primal needs for survival. And I myself has seen a fair bit of what that devolves into.
You see Petra kind of leans back and kind of crosses her arms and goes, "Oh, no, those at St. Vitruvio's Cathedral are not people. They are not creatures as we know them to be allies. These are, well, more Gamir, and a formidable creature known as, locally, I suppose, as Lord of the Feast. And he is causing quite a ruckus over there. And part of the Hooded Lantern's goal, the contingent has successfully slipped by him at the moment, but he is going to be a problem if we linger too heavily on Temple Gate.
May I know, sir, what the battle plans are as loosely as you can share, so I may offer the most pertinent information as time seems to be of the essence?
Absolutely. At the moment, we are going to take the entire contingent of the Silver Order. We are going to push the front or the outer city side of the gate, and the Hooded Lanterns are going to pincer move from the opposite side. It seems as though we have a little bit of contingents of the Queen's Men. They will be on the outer city with us. And the other factions kind of remain to be seen. We do not expect any help from the followers, and we might get some, but we do not expect any help from the Amethyst Academy. So as it stands right now, the factions that are in play are the Hooded Lanterns, the murderous Queen's Men, and the Silver Order that are pushing towards Queen's Gate, or Temple Gate.
Sir, can the Queen's Men be trusted?
Absolutely not. However, they have a vested interest in securing this gate as much as we do, and we have promised them the spoils of all of the Gamma that they managed to kill.
Can the Amethyst Academy be trusted?
Yes and no. As you know, our initial kind of declaration in Drakkenheim is to destroy that which destroyed us and eliminate the delirium from this planet as quickly and as effectively as possible. I do not think the Amethyst Academy aligns with our goals on that. However, a large contingent of Gamir holding the inner city is no one's ally. We can bank on at least that.
Sir, I'm seeing the battle map, and I know I'm a novice in terms of the craft of war, but I see, at the very least, enough to know that this is quite a gamble. What has made this so urgent that this is our best and only course of action?
And you see kind of everyone at the table looks around at each other and then looks at him, And go ahead and roll insight as you kind of look at these faces on the table. You can roll as well, Rand, as you're kind of part of this table if you would like to.
16.
Oh, 17 and some change.
Okay.
And that change is a 1, 18.
Excellent. The faces that, or the looks that passed on the generals and captains around the table was difficult to read, but it read as how to have difficult conversations with young people is difficult, right? Like having those conversations is gnarly. And you see the Knight Commander see all those faces, but doesn't acknowledge them, like just is staring right at you. And you can tell that he notices all the faces. He kind of straightens up, he takes a big deep breath, and even Petra looks at him and it just has this face of like, you gotta tell him. And you see him steal his resolve and he goes, we are losing this war. Drakkenheim is slipping away from us. As no one else is coming to fight, we are all that is left. There are no backups coming. There's no reserves hiding somewhere. There is no army coming to save this city. The rest of the outworld is more than willing to let Drakkenheim rot. And those who you see around you will not let that happen. And if this is as strong as we are going to get, and as weak as they are going to get, this might be one of the ways that we can inspire hope, increase morale, and get a foothold in the fight that we have been working for so long.
I understand, sir. Just a few more questions, and I will make sure to leave my notes that I've kept with your scribe. My first question, sir, is the Hooded Lanterns, Silver Order, being fast allies. We serve Drakkenheim. Will we serve stewardship of Drakkenheim until there is a noble presence?
And you see Petra like kind of laughs for a second. Just kind of goes, and he doesn't even acknowledge her. Knight Commander doesn't even acknowledge her. Like, it doesn't faze him at all. He's still kind of looking at you and goes, well, if it were up to the Hooded Lanterns, then there would be no military presence in Drakkenheim. Drakkenheim would be returned to the people immediately. However, that devolves into chaos, as we all know. And then he looks at Petra. And so, with the stronger arm of the Silver Order, we will maintain order until some semblance of order is returned to Drakkenheim in whatever form a government takes.
The stewardship would be enough, you think?
I do not think that stewardship is enough to hold Drakkenheim together by itself, especially during a rebuilding area or rebuilding era. I believe that a strong hand or a stronger tie to the crown in the monarchy is probably a better bet. And I would hate to reclaim the city and lose it to chaos than risk.
Understandable. The Hooded Lanterns feel the same way about a stewardship being brought from the rubble. Someone perhaps to offer a sense of order and balance that both represents the people and the desire to destroy the threats.
And you see Petra kind of walks forward and puts her hand on the table and goes, quite frankly, we don't believe that there should be any overwhelming military presence within Drakkenheim. There is an agreement amongst us, which is how we landed in this spot, that there needs to be some forward momentum on either a stewardship, a council, or a ruler within Drakkenheim to maintain order while rebuilding is occurring, as chaos is so close when you have reclaimed something. It is difficult to say, but there must be very strong ties, or at least a very worthwhile argument to be made for someone to take stewardship or lordship or sit on a council over Drakkenheim. And I think that's where you're going to find a lot of the disagreements with a lot of us that would see Drakkenheim restored, is how would that appear?
Sir, I'd like to request that before the attack on the next day, not hindering the attack timetable at all, that you allow a contingent of operatives led by myself to strike at the head of the snake, see if we could take out the leadership, this Lord of the Feast. I have it in good faith and understanding that that such a contingent would be small, careful, and very capable at killing this foe. If you think that without this leadership that the enemy force would be at least weakened, staggered, or in disarray long enough to increase the chance of this attack to be executed with a greater success and a less severe loss of life on behalf of the people of Drakkenheim, then I would like to volunteer myself and my compatriots who know no fear in the face of duty to Drakkenheim.
He kind of looks at Petra and goes, well, the way that I see it, with someone who has survived long enough within the inner city, I give you two options. I will leave it up to you, Ghost, of which option you should choose. You can either lead the vanguard of this attack on Temple Gate and sway it in our favor. If we are quick, decisive, and lethal enough, we can reclaim the major portions of the gate before this Lord of the Feast even has time to know what hit them, and we will have our foothold. Alternatively, you are more than welcome to take your contingent and make your way there. But be warned, on the latter option, there is no guarantee that that will help the battle at Temple Gate at all, and we may still lose it, even if you were successful in defeating the Lord of the Feast. And let me say that the prey will always be there, but your allies might not. So it is a choice that you are willing to take. Now, if you dispatch this Lord of the Feast early, quickly, efficiently, and you can join the back pincer of the Hooded Lanterns, that is also an option, but beware that I assume at this point that you will be heavily weakened, maybe in need of healing. You will be running on, I assume, fumes at this point. So. But spend the evening, consider it. We leave at little after first light. It will take us most of the day to get there. We are attacking right in the evening, when the sun is in their eyes. You have time. You can travel with us. There are other ways in, but you'll have to be swift, efficient, and lethal should you choose the latter option.
I believe so deeply in the good the Silver Order has done. I know that your leadership, sir, has been strained, and that you've been constantly picking between the hard choice and the harder choice. I know that the other factions criticize the futile efforts that they believe we are making. But the people of Drakkenheim have stayed, not because of the Amethyst Academy, not because of the Queen's Men, in spite of the followers, and maybe as well the sense of hope that the Hooded Lanterns represent. But the Silver Order is always boots down, swords forward, taking action. I'd like to be where the fighting is thickest against the Lord of the Feast. If you are certain that a night mission, the eve before the battle, to cut the head off the snake truly isn't going to make a difference, because I assure you, sir, by morning, the Lord of the Feast will be feasted upon.
And he kind of takes a beat and looks at Petra, and Petra at this point is just staring at you. Like, it's just kind of mulling you over, like weighing, like there's this very undescribable look in her face of weighing what you just said against the options in front of you. And he looks back at you and says, there is a third option which allows you not to make a choice yet. However,
Okay.
it is risky. Exceedingly so than the other two. Is you come with us, you are part of the Vanguard, and we send you over the wall during the battle. That's
I look
difficult
over-
because there are things, as you know, on the wall, and there are things on the opposite side of the wall that at this point you already know, but you will be alone, and there's nothing but Gamir between us and you. We cannot get to you.
I look
But-
to Ryan, and I give her a look like if I want to play a. No, I don't want to put down the hand, that we're holding,
Mm-mm.
but I
Well,
want to put down a card.
And he says, if we arrive at the charge, at the Vanguard, and the Lord is there, I trust you to be in the Vanguard with us, as there would be no other place to be. If we do not see them, and we have heard no reports of them, you have the option to go over the wall yourself, alone. And you can attack the head of the snake there, as we are pincerring them there. That's it. I leave that option up to you. It would be sad to not see you at the Vanguard with us. However, it would be
Alright.
strategically important, I think, choosing to lead or pushing for the Lord of the Feast. It is up to you.
Bryce giving a little nod.
No, that's the move. Because I want to check with Ryan to be
Oh, absolutely.
I want to check with Ryan because this is such an imperative moment that I want to go over that wall because I have the steward's seal,
Oh.
but I don't want to reveal that to them.
Mm-mm.
But I want to go over the wall without explaining, they're already expecting us to do this.
Josh, by the way, I am headed over to Camp Dawn.
Yes, I
Oh,
figured
wow.
as much. Yeah, you will
Okay.
you will very quickly be at the front gate and cause
Yeah,
problems.
I'm
Right.
sure everyone's gonna notice when I show up
Yep.
because
Yeah.
Bailey's will be getting
You'll be outside.
grabbed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Raya's thinking, obviously, great. This is the deal. He's unfinished business that needs to be taken care of. At the same time, has concern thinking about you going over the wall, imagining 100 of those beasts there for you to try to take on. Definitely, if I could message you in your head, I think the more people we have with us, the better we are when we take on the
So
Lord
you-
of the Feast.
So of the
It
two
is
options,
folly.
go
Mhm.
over and do this sneaky alpha strike, or meet them in battle. You meet them in battle. What if our intel is not great on this?
Not with 10,000 men could you do this. It is folly.
Okay, I will say with that look in her
yeah.
eye.
At the same time, I love the let's go over and fight it. And if Rye's concern is let's get this done, we're not going to die doing it, for crying out loud. She wants there to be more people because it feels like it needs more people, right? We've almost died lots of times by, a freaking bush. Nothing sounds as much fun though as going over the wall, right?
Okay.
It-
I like the idea. I like
it's
the idea of
also-
the Vanguard though.
Yeah, it's also, you could take the gate, the Lord not be there, and they may not push to get the Lord of the Feast because at that point he's already hamstrung. So then you would have to do it by yourself anyway.
Got it. Well then, and at that
Right.
point we're taking whoever's there, and
Right.
So
I like-
it's up to you, but just know that there is a possibility that exists that you could take the gate and they go, great, we did it, congratulations, we're gonna hold it, and then you could be like, let's go get him, and they're like, no, we did
Yeah.
our thing.
Yeah, we already
Okay.
know that if we go further, it's without them,
So-
and that's
fine,
already
too.
equivalent to the idea that we were going to attack on our own anyway. So, Ghost will say, "Sir, I would be honored to have my hand-picked team in the Vanguard, and specifically as a strike force dedicated to taking out enemy leadership targets.
And he goes, excellent. He slams his hand down. Excellent. And Petra just kind of crosses her arm and kind of nods. And then you hear this massive commotion outside, and you hear the voice of Pheles the Curious.
I'm ignoring that.
Yeah.
I'm like completely ignoring as I'm writing down the list of people, and I'm like, and the list is myself, Ryan, and I'm actually gonna write down Claudia.
Okay.
I'm gonna write down like the Lance Corporal Claudia, and then I get to
Petra. Wait.
Over Petra, not Petra.
Petra's busy. She's in
hooded lanterns, and she needs to be on the other side of the pincer.
Fair enough.
So
I just want yes.
It'd be really bad to have her with us, to be honest. And then I'm gonna get to Pheles. I'm about to write Pheles, and I hear the commotion, and I stop like
hello, here's my wand.
I'm like not finished writing his name.
PHA.
I'm gonna go fuck.
So Pheles, you have approached Camp Dawn, and instead of even asking for papers, they see your desecrated Silver Order armor. They see the glow of delirium underneath it, and they see your very clearly contaminated self, and they basically just grab you.
Yes.
Kind of lift you up, so you're like floating now above the ground.
Very friendly. Yes. Yes. I have a message for the Knight Commander.
And what would that message be, Mage?
That I conveyed young Erasmus's words to the Amethyst Academy, and they will lend their aid to your project of conquest.
And they kind of they look at each other, and they set you down, and one of them grabs you kind of like by the like the piece of armor, like the neck of the armor.
Yes.
Kind of grabs you,
hello, yeah.
And kind of pulls you along and says, "Come on, we're gonna go talk to the Knight Commander."
Watch your fingers; those manticore teeth are sharp.
And kind of pulls you to the front, waves the guards away, and kind of opens the cape. And inside you see Erasmus, Ryan, Petra, the Knight Commander, who you've never met the Knight Commander, and a bunch of generals. This is like very much a room full of people who don't like you, as well as Erasmus, Petra, and Ryan.
There's a lot going on here. Yes, hello. Erasmus, I conveyed your words to the Amethyst Academy, and they agreed to lend their aid to this project.
What words?
Do you say that?
And the Knight Commander just looks at you, goes,
yes,
just like,
no,
what?
I meant which words? Which words?
Yes,
Exactly. Yeah.
You said you had heard rumors of this project of taking over the Shepherd's Gate, and asked that they lend their aid because they seem to be on the fence about that. But yes, they seemed receptive, and they asked me to represent them faithfully there, and said they would be sending whatever aid they could manage.
You see the Knight Commander, and it looks at Petra, and Petra just kind of goes, I've met him. He was fine. He's, as far as Amethyst Academy goes, he's not dangerous to us.
Is Ophelia Reed here?
No, Ophelia Reed's not.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, she says it's a Knight Commander, and Knight Commander looks at the guard holding you and just kind of nods. And he lets go. Almost like a little shove, like very passive-aggressively lets you go. And then salutes, and then walks out, and the guards kind of close the door behind you. I mean, you are in a room with very talented, very armed people. There's no university you're gonna hurt the Knight Commander. So they're not worried.
They've still got my wand too.
Yeah.
I honestly, Erasmus, doesn't know what you're talking about, and doesn't like that he's just been asking, can the Amethyst Academy be trusted? And they're like, not really. And then he comes in we're here to be friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this feels really awkward. Oh god.
And Knight Commander just kind of goes, well, I mean, at least they won't be against us, and kind of glances at Petra again and says, well, at least they're at minimum neutral. And if they have handed us at least one wizard, as interesting as they are, it is, I think, a measure of good faith of the Templegate Assault.
Yes, I think the implication was some further aid would be forthcoming as well. But yes, they seemed quite moved by your entreaty, Erasmus.
And the Knight Commander at this point is just, it's funny to him. Like, he's got what he wanted. The Amethyst Academy's not going to attack. They're not going to sabotage. Like, at least that's the vibe that's being given up. It could be like, underhandedness, but Petra gave the sign off on Phalese. So, like, at this point, he's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, and he just kind of is looking at Erasmus. And Erasmus, I feel like, is just stewing and so uncomfortable. And the Knight Commander's just enjoying every second. It's just like, this is funny as hell.
Well, more the merrier, sir, as I write down Zacharias to be a part of the strike team as well.
Do you debrief Phalese on what's going on?
I do not.
Okay.
So you are standing in a room of people.
I'm not in a position to speak until spoken to in front of in front of these 3-star generals.
Yeah, this would be like, I don't know, a gunnery sergeant standing in front of 3-star generals and, speaking for an enemy army or something.
Right, I was like, my Chinese assassin that is part of this fair.
By the way, I meant to ask, is it okay that I wear this? I tried to remove any insignias so it didn't appear that I was representing the Silver Order. That seemed less than tasteful. I was planning to have some modifications made to it anyways, but
Phalese is applying for a position as a paladin of the Silver Order.
I am.
And now I'm returning the favor.
And then the Knight Commander's just kind of going back and forth, and he says,
he says, I have a question in his voice because he has felt so called to it. It hasn't really been a decision.
I don't think they want me, Erasmus.
I remember when I was a stray gutter rat of a child, they brought me in. There are no doubt rough edges to be ironed out.
I'm looking to somebody else being like, is it?
And at this point, the Knight Commander just holds his hand up and just commands attention there and just kind of goes, well, we are not going to bring you in as a paladin of the Silver Order. I am sorry. You said his name was Phalese, Ghost?
Yes, no, that makes sense.
Yes, I was hoping to at least make him a knight errant so that it wouldn't be disheartening to those seeing a member of the Amethyst Academy in the midst of the Vanguard.
I was just trying not to get stabbed. That's what's going on with this armor here.
I actually disagree. I think it would be heartening to know that we have allies outside of the very few of the Silver Order who remain.
His 3 eyes and the mutant cats, and
as long as they're on our side, quite frankly, at this point, we'll take what we can get.
It's a very generous attitude. Thank you.
However, Phalese, I appreciate your attempts at not besmirching the insignia of the Silver Order. It may look to some as though you have desecrated it, so I would recommend that you go to the smithy here in Campdon and have it altered so that it is at least entirely removed, and at least most of the modicums of the Silver Order components on it are removed, so that you are not in any demoralizing position at the front.
Quite right. Am I correct that we don't have time for that just now, though?
No, not really. No, quite frankly. Okay. And Ghost, he will be joining you at the Vanguard. I see you have written some names down, so if you have not included him already, please do so.
He's part
Thank
of
you very much.
Strike team that I am excited that we will be going to kill the Lord of the Feast at the heart of this.
Were we going to do that first?
I suggested it, but it seems that it's more likely to succeed in the Vanguard.
We will see when we get there. War ever changes.
Certainly, certainly we'd be helpful there. But I mean, if nothing else, an assault on the Lord of the Feast could draw some forces away from the gate, so they're split when the armies converge.
Oh,
okay. Oh, yeah. No worries.
I've done my best.
And he kind of holds his hand up and goes, You can make that decision this evening. We head out very first light. We will make it there before dusk of the next day, dusk of tomorrow. You have until then to make your decision. I will assume that you are at the Vanguard. If I do not see you at the Vanguard, I will assume that you have gone over and are leading a strike team in. But please let me know if you are going to be scaling the walls. Unless we are in the pitch of battle and you have decided that there is a better strategy elsewhere, I trust your judgment on this, as you will not be leading an actual army. You will be leading a group.
A small team.
Yes.
This is the dusk attack or dawn attack?
Dusk. This is a dusk.
A dusk attack.
Leaving at dawn, attack at dusk.
Leave at dawn, attack at dusk.
Because it's just going to take time to get there.
And it's like evening right now, right? Like it's like late evening.
Yeah.
Late afternoon, I think, right?
Yeah. It's about evening now. Yeah, the sun is basically setting at this point.
Okay.
All right.
And if there's a just a quick break for a second, I'll take a look at Petra. Who, well, gosh, we saved her life.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to
Good
be
to
any
see
time. Right? I don't know if there's going to be any time between now and when we go, but it sounded like you've got some information on the Lord of the Feast. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Part of, in fact, being I'm very interested in being part of what takes him down. If you've got any information on his behaviors, his weaknesses, and frankly, if there's anyone that can be spared, or when the timing works, to come in as a group to take him out, any additional information or assistance would only make us all successful. Yeah.
I have left all the information I have with the Knight Commander. They will delegate out, as it seems as though you are going to be leading the strike force against this foe. Having so much intimate knowledge of the inner city, it only makes sense. But the Knight Commander will dole out that information. If he doesn't, and kind of leans forward. Remember, Petra's not in the Silver Order. He just backs ass all at once. Petra's like, if he doesn't, come find me. If you can. Battles are chaotic. So, should you see me, we have a moment, I will give you what information I can before the chaos starts again. But my hope is that you are gifted information from the Knight Commander, and it's not withheld for strategic reasons. And kind of turns to her and says, Knight Commander, and kind of looks at you three and just goes, group, thank you again, and walks out past you, and kind of taps Ghost on the shoulder, like a very kind of heartily friend thing, like you just put in front of the strongest military commander in the space and held your own, like, nice job, and just kind of tapped and then just walks out, presumably to join the Hooded Lanterns on the other side of the room.
Okay.
And the Knight Commander goes, well, you three are dismissed. We're going to finish the rest of the supply strategy. So we have to set up supply lines through Drakkenheim, at least to get our soldiers safely there. We have a few scouting parties out already, and we will see you at first light.
And I leave him my notes, my team, and the notes include where we saw trolls, manticores, where we killed what. And so, like, when they're planning supply lines, they're not like, oops, a troll.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see he grabs them and kind of hands them to a clerk, and the clerk immediately just kind of goes, and then, like, grabs stuff and puts it on the table and starts moving it around. Like, it goes to immediate use.
Yeah. A flock of herpes?
Yeah. 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 That seems... No, that's upside down. Hold on.
Ghost doesn't spell perfectly.
That's awesome.
A toll? A group of tolls? That's weird. What's a toll?
A toll. And as soon as we walk out, like, okay, so what's the best thing for us to kill the Lord of the Feast?
And you were given a little dossier on it as you walked out. It's a very short kind of packet on it. It'll take a little bit of time to digest and read, but the information was handed to you from the Knight Commander on your way out from one of the clerks.
I thanked him very much, and then as soon as we step out, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's the best strategy to do this.
Yeah, what's the dossier?
Well, do we know if the Lord of the Feast is aligned with the Garmir at the gate? I expect we assume so, since they're
Is he their
quite close.
leader? What is the out of game? What do we? I'm
We know that
assuming
he's
in
the
the
leader of
dossier.
some of the Garmir.
Yeah. So
Right.
in the dossier, as we look at it, does it kind of explain kind of what his gammer jam?
we will go ahead and pick that up next time. I know the answer, but I'm not going to give it to you.
No!
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Josh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do know the answer, and I'm not going to give it to you now because it's more fun if you find out in the morning or this evening as you read through the dossier and get all the information on the Lord of the Feast.
Yeah.
So,
All
that was
right.
great. Good session. Now we're at a major story point. Now we're getting spicy now.
This is fun.
Tomorrow?
little-
Can we play tomorrow?
Right. I'm free.
Right?
But
Well, you know, if we skip a long rest, we could pop back in. Maybe get to the Castle Saint Vitruvio by dawn, and link up with the Silver Order for the to still be in the vanguard.
It is an option.
I forgot to ask.
It's
Oh, damn it.
spicy to make it, but you can make
yeah.
it. You gotta leave. You gotta leave now, and you gotta
Yeah.
book it. But it is possible.
In my
Yes.
in my notes, I'll have added a message to the Knight Commander requesting permission to have access to the staff of Saint Vitruvio just for this battle. Like it's almost like the armament of the Silver Order needs to be brought fully, and having been the one to bring it to them, I feel like it's not an unreasonable request.
Yeah. Okay.
Call. Really good call.
I was like, we need the juice, and I miss having that thing.
Yeah. We'll see. I will. I'll read through that and make a decision on that for next time. It might be one of those things that
It'll help me when I'm not in my big form. I can't use it in my big form.
Yeah, I think that the question is less like, will it be helpful? More so, is it a weighable risk to bring it into battle against such a large force? Because it's very much a 50-50.
Garmir.
Yeah, right. So
Right.
that's the kind of balancing act.
Or to the to the Queensmen that are here looting.
It's gonna be worse. Yeah.
I will make a check if I have to kind of point out like everything that needs to be pointed out for this, but I feel like this is a good move.
Well, and out of game, I wonder if you can have the seal and the staff at the same time.
I don't think they're related. Because the staff isn't one of the seals.
I think it is though, isn't it?
No, I think it's just a relic of Saint Vitruvio.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
think
one of the
there
relics
is a staff.
One of the
But I-
relics is a seal as well. But I think that'd be really fun to just raw dog it straight back into Drakkenheim, no rest. To see if we can do a night mission. Get all warmed up for the war. I'm sure the Lord of the Feast will be nothing more than a speed bump on the way.
No way.
He's fine. Piece of cake.
Oh God. All right, so we'll figure that out. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
We will we'll see you, but we're gonna try to film as many things as we can as the season is gonna get a little busy.
Real wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that time of year. Things are going on for everyone, but I will try to supplement your Sleepless and Drakkenheim cravings with one-shots with some amazing celebrity guests, including Don Marshall and Darling Creepshow, the really wonderful people. So we'll see you around.
Yeah. Thank you.